I never thought I'd face death under the scorching sun in this vast desert. This immense, burning wasteland. And yet, here I am, facing an incredibly sharp blade. Am I really going to die at the hands of this stranger? Do you have any last words? I really don't want to die in a place like this. It's not fair. Back in the Rome War Empire, known as the ruler of the North, I lived a life of luxury. A vast and opulent mansion, lavish furnishings, dazzling jewelry. Gold, silver, jewels, I had it all. But those weren't the things that interested me. What I desired most was the freedom to explore this vast world I was born into, to experience its beauty, the novelties that always intrigued me. Every time I set foot in a new land, my passion ignited. That's how my journey began. I explored everywhere, from the prehistoric ruins in the north to the fan colonies in Siberia. Before I knew it, I had visited every nation in the 6 northern regions. Then I started heading south, toward a country called Croatia. To get there, I had to cross this vast desert. But things weren't as simple as I thought. Under the scorching desert sun, I'm still struggling to find my way. I've been lost here for a week. I can't figure out which way to go. There's nothing but sand all around. What's worse, I don't have a single drop of water left. In that desperate situation, I suddenly saw something in the distance. Are those people? Without a second thought, I ran towards them and called out, "Excuse me. Wait a moment, please." I ran up to them, panting. When they saw a stranger running towards them, the 3 men became wary. Haha, thank goodness, this isn't a hallucination. The thing is, I just wanted to ask, do you know the way to Croatia? In response to that question, a sharp blade was pointed directly at my face. Back to the present. I grimaced in fear. Oh my God, it was just a question about directions. Why is he so rude as to point his sword at my neck? Does he have an enemy in Croatia? If that's true, then I'm doomed. Sobi. Do I have any last words? If not, then farewell world. Wait a minute. I haven't even said my last words yet. Please lower your sword. You can't kill me. The man with the cold face replied, "Oh, and why not?" Seeing his merciless attitude, I thought to myself, do I really have to resort to this? There's no other way. I'll have to risk it. I took off my hooded cloak and proudly declared, because I'm the most beautiful woman on the continent. I'll use my feminine charms to seduce him. The man asked in surprise, What did you just say? Then I placed my hand on my chest and replied with utmost confidence, in my personal opinion. Every country has a duty to protect beautiful women. Protecting beauties is a matter of course, right? Isn't that what I'm saying? The 3 men just stared, speechless. That's funny, lady. Are those your last words? Farewell, world, once again. He raised his sword again and swung it down decisively. Damn it, I have to dodge this attack or I'll be logged out. Just as the sword came down, I quickly dodged to the side, narrowly escaping death. Oh my God, that was close. I almost got cut in half. Is this guy crazy? Hey, you can't just swing your sword around like that. What kind of person has a temper as short as this? That's against the rules. The man replied coldly. What law? The law of the jungle. Does killing someone even need a law? By the end of today, one of us will die. The other will live. That's all there is to it. His eyes were full of murderous intent. It was terrifying, like the summer sun. Does he only find satisfaction in my death? The man slowly stepped closer. He stared at her. Why is he coming closer? Is he going to kill me? His hand touched her cheek, gently lifting it and examining every angle of her face. Why is he looking at me like that? Did my beauty finally have an effect? He observed her meticulously for a moment. The man laughed sarcastically. Exactly where are you beautiful? So, are you incredibly beautiful? What? Is he mocking my looks? I was going to kill you immediately, but now I've changed my mind. So you should be grateful that I've spared your life. Scene change at towering tower. The girl's breath came in ragged gasps against the scorching sun. Where am I? Have I been kidnapped? It's so hot. I'm so thirsty. Is anyone there? Suddenly, a soldier carrying a bucket of water approached. Before she could say anything, he dumped the entire bucket over her. Here's your water, as requested. Be grateful for this. Let's see how long you can endure this intense heat. Damn it, at least I feel a little better. Thanks to that water, I'm more alert now. Now I should figure out where this is and what the situation is. This prison is built in the center of the city, where the sun shines most intensely. Looking at how they treat the prisoners here and the style of the people outside, this can only be the kingdom known as the King of the Desert. Persian. My homeland, Chrome World, rules the north, while Persian rules the south. This is a country that occupies most of the southern desert and also has a long-standing feud with Chrome World. That's why I avoided Persian when traveling through the southern continent. It would be troublesome if the people here recognized me. Who knew I'd end up here while lost in the desert? Sigh, but now's not the time for self-pity. This prison is designed to torture prisoners with the deadly heat. I'm not used to the weather here. Sooner or later, my body won't be able to handle it. That's why I've made preparations. First, I need to get out of here. A moment later, the sound of a lock clicking open echoed softly. This sound brings back so many memories. I inherited my beauty from my mother, especially her beautiful platinum hair, just like her moonlight glow. Every day, she would brush my hair and take care of me, every little detail. She always wanted me to grow up to be a respectable lady. Every time I snuck out to play, she would fly into a rage and lock me up at home. Well, I wasn't one to just sit back and take it. I would always find a way to escape. Thanks to that, this lock is nothing to me now. Thank you, Mother, for helping me become an escape artist. I kept getting locked up and then escaping. I trained my physique while imprisoned and learned 100 different escape techniques. That's why I became stronger and more experienced. It helps a lot in my adventures. Phew, I'm out. Prison isn't a place for a beautiful girl like me. First, to avoid attention and being recognized as a foreigner, I need to change my clothes to blend in with the locals. Women here have to cover their faces. Otherwise, they'll be seen as seducing men. What a strange custom. But this will help me escape. At a bustling and glamorous street corner, the scene filled me with curiosity. Everything was so new and fascinating. I once read about Persia in a book, a magnificent power built from sand. Despite the feud with Chrome War, I still wanted to set foot here one day. Yet, who could have guessed? I got lost and ended up captured. How unfortunate. The air here is so hot. The buildings are also built from sand. The people here are of a different ethnicity too. Oh, my heart is pounding. This is so exciting. This place is even more fascinating than in the books. It's like stepping into a new world. That's right. That's why I love traveling. Thank you. Oh, gracious Mesa. Hooray. This is wonderful. Oh dear. I forgot this is a crowded place. I got too carried away. I need to be careful and restrain myself, or I'll be captured again. Now, what should I do next? Maybe find a homestay to rest. But first, I need to find something to fill my stomach. I'm starving. And then, I'll have a delicious grilled skewer. Wow, the meat looks so juicy and delicious. I have to eat this right away. Thanks for the meal. Wait, before I could even take a bite, something caught my eye. It startled me, and I dropped my skewer. I was so shocked I gasped. I can't believe it. Why is that cold, callous man here? Those blood-red eyes are looking at me. Does he recognize me? I am scared. I quickly pulled my veil over my face. I have to stay calm. I've covered my face. And it's crowded here, too. He won't recognize me. I'm sure of it. I need to get out of here quickly. But why do I keep feeling such an intense aura behind me? Wait, is he following me? The man behind me is getting closer. I slowly turn around to check. Suddenly, he appeared right in front of me, just inches away. Terror seized her, and she quickly tried to hide. I'm done for, he spotted me. No reaction yet. Curious, she peeked. Turning back to look properly, she met a deadly, bullet-like stare fixed on her. Suddenly, he grabbed her waist and pulled her close. I saw you escaping from prison like a little mouse. Tell me, how did you get out? Faced with his aggressive demeanor and intimidating presence, the blood drained from her face. Trembling, she stammered, unable to speak. Suddenly, a voice called out from behind. A blue-haired man with a group of soldiers following him rushed over and asked, "Is something the matter, sir?" The man glanced at them coldly. Then, throwing the girl towards his subordinates, he said, "I will return to the palace first. I'll leave this girl to you to deal with. Uma, you better not disappoint me. Uma bolvid hispik chfuli." "Yes, sir." Two soldiers then dragged her away. What the hell? What's going to happen to me now? He's not going to kill me, is he? Oh God, help me. Help me. Save me. Oh God, I'm going to die. Oh God. Returning to the palace, his sage told the blue-haired man about the girl's escape. The blue-haired man said, "I had a feeling about this back in the desert. She's not like an ordinary woman." He recalled her demeanor, appearance, and clothing, which spoke volumes. Then he proposed an idea. "Sir SH, why don't we use her?" GH asked, puzzled. "Use her? How, sir?" She acts rough, but her speech and appearance are unusual. I think she's the daughter of a noble family from the north. She a expressé surprise. Oh, a noble from the north. The blue-haired man replied decisively, yes, sir. My intuition tells me so. Why don't we try to coax her into revealing information about the Chrome World Kingdom? Who knows what we might learn? You might learn a bit more about the relationship between Chrome World and Kracia. SH pondered for a moment, then spoke. All right, how about this? Yes, please tell me. I will bring her into my harem. That afternoon at the Pizian Palace, a handmaiden came to find the girl. My lady, please come with me. On the way, she looked around, impressed by the splendor and magnificence of the architecture. Where am I? This place is enormous. A moment later, the handmaiden led her to a large door. As the door cracked open, 3 other handmaidens were lined up, ready to greet her. As soon as she stepped inside, their eyes flashed with a glint directed at her. Suddenly, they grabbed her clothes and pulled her in, leaving her bewildered. They stripped her naked. Don't touch me. Why are you doing this to me? Please stop. Just as she managed to grab a towel to cover herself, they dragged her away. Before her was a gigantic pool. Before she could grasp the situation, she was pushed in. Without a shred of mercy, they sent her face first into the water, then held her down, scrubbing and scouring every inch of her body. Still reeling from the fall, she thought, you could have at least given me a warning. Oh well, she sighed. What else can I expect after being brought here? After the bath, she was clean and fragrant, her hair smooth and shiny. A handmaiden brought clothes and said, now, please put these on. The girl protested, seriously, you want me to wear this? In a luxurious room, SH was leisurely enjoying his downtime. He recalled her face and their encounter, her amusingly naive remarks, and her captivating presence. Chuckle softly, Sir SH. It seems you're in a good mood. Yes, indeed. I've just caught a little mouse. Quite interesting. Or rather, a cat would be more accurate. Back with the girl, she was grumbling about the outfit. Seriously, what kind of women's clothing is this? My stomach is completely exposed. If I had protested against wearing this, they would have knocked me out and put on me anyway. Wait, where are all my belongings? Did they steal them while I was changing? This is bad. My map, money, clothes, and even pictures of handsome men are all gone. More importantly, my notebook is in there too. I can't go anywhere without it. It's my identification in case of emergencies while traveling. Oh no, how am I supposed to find my bag in such a vast place? But at least I still have this important item. These are magic earrings. They keep my hair and eyes brown. If they disappear, my eyes will turn red and my hair will become platinum blonde. Thanks to these earrings, I can travel everywhere without fear of being discovered. While I was lost in thought about how to find my bag, the handmaiden came to hurry me. Miss, what are you waiting for? Please follow me. Where is she taking me now? This way, Mississippi. What is this uneasy feeling? She led me deeper inside. Where on earth are we going? While wondering about that, I was brought before a magnificent room. The handmaiden announced, this is where you will stay in the harem. Oh, this room is so spacious and beautiful. The decorations are quite impressive too. Wait a minute, what's this about a harem all of a sudden? Did you just say harem? Yes, Mississippi, don't tell me. That's a place where a man keeps multiple women that he likes, and he can do whatever he wants with them, right? Yes, precisely. As soon as she understood, she nearly fainted. They threw me into a harem. Are they insane? I'd rather be in prison. This is all his fault, that despicable jerk. What a waste of a handsome face. Get up, miss, the floor is cold. Being in the harem is an honor. You should be happy. Hearing those words, she became furious. Are you kidding me? Wake up. A man should only have one woman. I've been brought to this place where that idiotic man is with multiple women. Wow, what an honor. I'll be treated like a toy. It's not fair. Get a grip. Being scolded like this, the handmaiden blushed and replied, why isn't it fair? I'd be so happy if Sir SH treated me like his toy. Hee hee. Hearing this, Miss could only sigh in frustration. Arguing with her is pointless. It's like talking to a wall. Everyone here is brainwashed. She refused to accept it and lay face down on the bed, crying. Please save me, O Lord Misa. Wait, something's not right. Why is it so quiet here? Where are the other women? The handmaiden earnestly replied, well, that's because you are Era, the only one in the harem. Miss asked in surprise, I'm Era. I'm the only woman in the harem. At a reception hall in the palace, a soldier announced, Sir Sage, the supreme leader of Dara, has arrived. He immediately ordered, then let him in. A man approached. He bowed respectfully. Greetings, Draken. I am Jalen of the Dara clan. CHH seemed surprised. What brings Supreme Leader Jalen here? I'll be frank. CHH. I heard you'd returned from the Ismail Oasis, so I came to greet you. CHH sat, enjoying the deep red pomegranates and listening to his rambling. Come to think of it, I heard you recently added a fair-skinned woman to your harem. I know slaves have been taken into the harem before, but I hear you know nothing of this lowly woman's origins. So why grant her such an important position? You have no idea how surprised I was. I fear the rumors of your incompetence are true. Before he could finish, Jalen startled in terror. Sir S.H. had crushed the pomegranate in his hand. He glared at Jalen with fury in his eyes. How dare you insult me like that, Jalen? Jalen trembled, terrified, knowing he had angered the wrong person. Sir S.H.'s killing intent was so powerful, it felt like it could crush him. Jalen stammered, I only spoke out of concern for you, sir. Sir S.H.'s voice was low and dangerous. Concern? I don't need your concern. Get out. Jalen scrambled to his feet and fled, not daring to look back. Sir S.H. sneered and licked the pomegranate juice from his hand. He muttered, You'll see what happens if you dare defy me again. In the harem, the sky had grown dark. Era lay dejectedly on the bed, lamenting, This time I'm really in trouble. It's not fair. I just wanted to see the desert. How did I end up in this situation? Oh, but wallowing isn't like me. I need to get a grip. I have to find a way to escape. I can't become the wife of that disgusting man. I haven't even seen his face. I even escaped the most notorious fan prison in the north without breaking a sweat. So escaping from here should be a piece of cake. But there are two rather tricky problems right now. First, I've lost my bag of important belongings. Even if I could escape from here, I couldn't cross the vast desert without any supplies. Who knows, I might get lost and die out there. Especially my notebook. It's a level 999 notebook. It represents my parents' authority, allowing me to travel important routes during my journeys. Without it, I can't move freely in the north, let alone in the south. So I have to find it no matter what. The second problem is my earrings. The camouflage spell can't maintain its power forever. I have to dispel the magic and let these earrings rest for a week. Otherwise, they'll be damaged. And according to my calculations, they can only remain active for another week. So I only have 1 week to escape. What I need to do now is explore this area and the surrounding layout. It's time to go outside. Under the night sky, the moonlight shimmered brilliantly on the Pisan palace. The sight piqued Era's curiosity. The moon in Pisan radiated a white light, while in the north, it was yellow. Wow, this place is huge. It's as big as the Imperial Palace. Moreover, the buildings here are systematically connected. Breaking in is impossible, and escaping is just as difficult. I'm currently located deep within a complex. Escaping will be harder than I imagined. Why does he live in a place like this? Who is he anyway? First, I need to find out what that building is. A while later, somewhere in the palace, after some sneaking and dodging the patrolling guards, Era landed like a superhero. It seems like there's no one around here. I wonder what this place is used for. Judging by the eye-catching design, this place must belong to someone incredibly powerful. I should check out that garden over there. Suddenly, she heard the sound of someone wading through water. Approaching closer, she became stunned, because before her stood a man with a beautiful and strong physique. He was bathing. Driven by her love for handsome men, or rather, her curiosity, Era decided to hide behind the bushes to observe who he was. It's so late. What is he doing out in the garden? I wonder who it is. Looking more closely, she was astonished and couldn't believe her eyes. The handsome man bathing in the moonlight was none other than CHH, the one who had put her in this awkward predicament. Recognizing him, Era recoiled and trembled, gripped by fear. How could it be that crazy man again? She had encountered him not just once, but twice now. She needed to get out of there quickly, but it seemed too late. A shadow loomed right behind her. Acting like a timid mouse again, being discovered made her heart pound and left her speechless. Before she could recover, CHH grabbed her and threw her into the water. He immediately interrogated her. What are you doing here? Do you enjoy spying on others? Or are you a spy? Era quickly denied it. I wasn't spying. And I'm not a spy. And who are you anyway? Why did you kidnap a woman in broad daylight without a word? Do you think you could just take anyone you want? She confronted his arrogance. Who are you? A god? Or the emperor of this place? CHH replied, So, if I were the emperor of this country, then you would be more obedient and silent. Hearing his confident tone, Era was stunned. What? How? Before she could ask any further, CHH grabbed her hand and introduced himself. My name is Chani Obeda, and I am the ruler of this Pisan kingdom. Era was shocked. Wait, you're Raken, the living deity of Pisan. Sir S.H. smirked with satisfaction. I'm glad you at least know the meaning of the word Raken. While Era was still reeling from discovering Sir S.H.'s true identity, he stepped closer to her her, seemingly about to do something. A scream echoed, shaking the still air of the palace. What in the world are you doing? Put me down. I mean, please, put me down. She struggled like a cat being carried away. How can you be so rude to such a beautiful girl? You'll be punished for this. What's going on? Where is he taking me? CHH carried her to a room. Then, he abruptly threw her onto the bed and began to interrogate her. You're a spy sent by Chrome War, aren't you? She thought to herself, at any cost, I must hide the fact that I lived in Chrome War. Then she calmly replied, I come from the northern continent, but I don't live in Chrome War. And I'm not a spy like you say. Then why did you want to come to Croatia? I only came to travel and explore. I'm just an innocent tourist. I'm not lying. Please believe me. Feeling that her attitude and words seemed sincere, CHH tentatively believed her and accepted her explanation. But are you trying to seduce me? What do you mean? Why is he staring at me like that? She suddenly realized something. The outfit she was wearing, already quite flimsy and revealing in places, was now soaked and clinging to her, unable to conceal the sensitive areas of her body. As CHH moved closer, she cried out in alarm, what are you looking at? He pushed her down onto the bed and said, Didn't you call yourself beautiful earlier? She immediately remembered. Oh, right. I had to say that so he wouldn't kill me. But didn't you laugh and say I wasn't beautiful then? Please get away from me. CHH looked at her thoughtfully and said, Let me add to what I said before. I don't know if you're beautiful or not, but you have very beautiful eyes. The atmosphere in the room suddenly became more romantic. The only sound was their soft breaths. Slowly, CHH leaned and closed her lips. His sudden kiss caught her off guard. She couldn't resist, only closing her eyes and accepting it. The moonlight filtering and made the moment even sweeter. CHH began to kiss her more intensely. Their hearts beat in unison. Why is he so forceful? If I don't do something, I'll be in danger. She tried to regain control against his insistent advances. CHH's pressure was overwhelming. Let me go. Sensing her weak resistance, he gently released her. Then, with a soft chuckle, he said, Welcome to my harem, stranger from beyond the kingdom. The next morning in the harem, a handmaiden arrived to clean and decorate. Era was still asleep in bed. Hearing a noise nearby, she woke up. Rubbing her eyes, she asked, Hello, who are you? The handmaiden replied cheerfully, You're awake. My name is Nu. From today onwards, I'll be your handmaiden. It's an honor to meet you, Era. Era nodded. I understand. Hello to you too. Did CHH send a handmaiden to watch me because I snuck out last night? Nu admired Era's hand. Oh, I heard your skin is very fair. It seems you're not from Persia. That's right, but why does everyone call me Era? What does it mean? The handmaiden smiled warmly and replied, It means woman of Draken. You have become a treasured woman and will serve Lord CHH. Congratulations. Era thought helplessly, What? Don't make me serve him. Hey, can I ask you something? I am your handmaiden, so you don't need to be so formal with me. Okay. So that means every time I go somewhere, you'll follow me. I thought, if she keeps tagging along, it'll be hard to escape. Nu, while pouring tea, replied, No, my lady. I'm here simply to assist you. If you find it bothersome or dissatisfied, you can dismiss me. Oh, I understand. That's a relief. Now I can plan my escape. This tea is delicious too. If there's nothing else, please rest now, my lady. Remember to call me if you need anything. Thank you. After the handmaiden left, Aerith sat on the bed, lost in worried thought. I can't believe I've become one of Draken's women. It's not like in Chroma, where everyone believes in the invisible goddess, Lomisa, while in Pizian, their god is also the ruler of the land. This god brings water to barren places and deserts, helping plants to blossom and bear fruit. And he is called Draken. Here, Draken isn't just a king, but he controls every aspect of the country, from economics and politics to culture and society. He is worshipped as the living god of this land. Thinking of this, she sighed. I had no idea he was Draken. Suddenly, she remembered last night. CHH had pinned her down and kissed her forcefully, making her blush and feel embarrassed. She clenched her fists, trembling with anger. Just because he's the king doesn't mean he can do whatever he wants. This is really worrying me. Not to mention, that was my first kiss. I hope he trips and falls flat on his face. What a jerk. The scene changes to a balcony somewhere in the palace. SH is sitting on the railing, listening to the blue-haired man's report. My lord, in short, Jalen hasn't shown any unusual behavior. He doesn't know we're aware of all his moves. What would you like us to do? SH calmly replied, Leave him be. Let's see how long he can remain so insolent. Behind him, a guard gently reminded, Your Majesty, that asked him about the new woman who joined the harem. He immediately returned to report, Your Majesty SH. Oh, is there anything else? Yes, yes. It's about the woman who recently entered the harem. In my opinion, it was a rather hasty decision. Pleasure is only temporary, but this change is permanent. And after that incident, the harem has. It didn't wait for him to finish. SH glared, his eyes filled with murderous intent, and showed his outrage. The blue-haired man fearfully pleaded, Your Majesty, please forgive me. I misspoke. The guard hurriedly explained the matter in detail. Sir, the blame doesn't lie entirely with him. The Grand Vizier is not pleased with this matter. He always wanted his daughter to enter the harem. In addition, there are 6 high-ranking chieftains, as well as 48 other generals. They are all vying for their daughters to become Era. SH remained silent for a moment, then commanded, I want to learn more about this woman. Bring her to me. Back to our heroine. While enjoying a delicious meal, but she was startled to see Nu running in with the news. Era, Lord SH summons you. He wants you there immediately, but I'm eating. The handmaiden replied with a strained smile, You must go right away. Otherwise, I fear His Majesty will have no other choice. Era immediately headed to the palace. On the way, she expressed her annoyance. Ugh, I was relaxing and enjoying a delicious meal, and now I'm being summoned. I haven't even had a sip of milk tea yet. Why the sudden call? And why do I have to see him every time he summons me? What am I, his pet? All right, Your Majesty, I'm coming, you jerk. Yes, Era has arrived. As the door opened, SH sat solemnly upon his throne, waiting. I have escorted Era, as you commanded. If there's nothing else, I'll take my leave. Era was startled and afraid. Wait, why are you leaving me alone here? Don't go, Nu. Who knows what awful things he'll do to me this time? She's finally here, but she's too ashamed to look me in the eye. How long does she plan to avoid me? And how is her first night in the harem? She's cursing me in her head, huh? This shameless bastard. Fine, if you want to play, I'll play along. She replied evasively, with a very fake expression. I wasn't avoiding you. I was just preparing a few things. And thanks to you, I had a wonderful night. How about you, Jockin? She stood up and said, If you like my harem so much, I'll let you live there for the rest of your life. What do you think? Her face stiffened. She forced a smile, but inside, she was furious. Does he think this is some kind of imperial joke? I'm grateful for your offer, but I'll have to decline. He slowly walked closer to her. Yesterday, she was like a wildcat. Today, she's unusually docile. What are you planning? Sihit took her hand, thinking, her hand is so soft. Nasir was right. She behaves roughly, but her way of speaking, her appearance, and her demeanor are all unusual. I believe she could be the daughter of some northern nobleman. So why did you come to Kratia? Under his pressure, she panicked and stammered. Didn't I already tell you? I'm just traveling. Sihit looked at her with deadly eyes. If you dare say that word again, I will shut your mouth forever. Faced with his threat, her face paled in fear. That cold gaze, an expression again. Every time he looks at me like that, it's like he can see right through me. The way he looks me up and down creates a feeling I've never experienced before. But in this confusion, one thing is certain. My intuition tells me to stay away from this man. She stepped back and replied, I heard the dates are delicious there. Dates are a famous specialty of Kratia, so I wanted to come here. I also wanted to see what the houses in the desert are like. And damn it, I have a million reasons. But I can't remember any of them right now. Sihit gritted his teeth, muttering, How absurd. She crossed the desert of death just for that. Nobody in this world would do such a thing. The woman flinched, stunned. Desert of death. Is that the name of that desert? Outside, a servant ran in and announced, Your Majesty, Jockin. Forgive my interruption, but the scribe has arrived. Scribe. The scribe. So it's him. I recognize this man. It's a blue-haired guy. Well, my savior has arrived. Thank goodness he interrupted the interrogation. Otherwise, Sihit would have made mincemeat of me. Your Majesty, I came because you summoned me. But should I withdraw? No need. Come in quickly. Let's greet each other. This is my scribe, Nasir, and this is. Well, what is your name? She inwardly cursed. Good heavens. He's only asking my name now. What a jerk. My name is Asina. Nasir put on a friendly expression. It's an honor to see you again, Lady Asina. I almost didn't recognize you. You're wearing a new outfit today. You look very beautiful. Jaka must be very pleased. Asina laughed confidently. Of course. I am the most beautiful woman. Sihit thought to himself, I can't believe she can still talk like that in this situation. Take her away. Asina fumed. Why does he keep ordering me around? While she was fuming, Nasir turned his face. Sihit's eyes signaled something to his trusted scribe. Rewinding time a bit to earlier. That woman is very afraid of me, it seems. She won't tell the truth when I ask. She's not the type to confess under threats. So you should coax the truth out of her. Investigate her identity. Yes, your majesty. Returning to the present in a study. Asina was made to veil her face upon meeting another man. Nasir pulled out a chair and invited her to sit. Then he took out a pen and paper and began his interrogation. He said, "You say you're not from Cromor. Then may I ask where you are from?" Asina cleverly replied, "I'm from Siren. It's a small kingdom on the southeastern border of Cromor." Nasir immediately questioned, "Oh, really? I was unaware of such a kingdom's existence." "Well, I suppose it's so small that few people know about it," she thought to herself. "Actually, I did pass through Siren after leaving Chroma, so it's not entirely a lie." "Oh, may I ask you a question?" "Yes, of course. Ask away." "It's about the place where I was found. Why is it called the Desert of Death?" Nasir explained, "Ah, so you're referring to the Zata Desert of Death. That's because the desert cannot retain a single drop of water, even when it rains. Therefore, you won't find any water source anywhere. And because the wind constantly blows, the terrain is always changing, making it very easy to get lost. Coupled with such a harsh environment, you would die if lost there for a few days. Many explorers have perished that way. Many exiled families have also lost their lives in Zata. That's why it's called the Desert of Death." "I understand now. No wonder I didn't see anyone in the desert. There are also many rumors that the place is cursed, but I don't believe in such rumors." "Indeed. I wonder if this woman is telling the truth or not. It seems I must test her. But Lady Asina, are you aware that Kratia and Pizian are currently enemies?" Asina quickly replied, "No, I don't know. I only know that Kratia was built by those who opposed the founding of Pizian. But I wasn't aware the relationship between the two nations was so bad." Nasir added, "Recently, there was a conflict between Kratia and Pizian. That's why the relationship with Kratia has become increasingly strained." "Oh, so Lady Asina is unaware of the current situation. I understand now. Things are different in the south. News travels slower to the north, maybe by 5 hours. I get it. I understand why I've been treated like a prisoner. It all makes sense. Out of all the people I could have asked, I asked the emperor of a nation for directions to their enemy's territory, and then I escaped. I see why they're suspicious. And now, it's my turn to ask you some questions. Regarding the desert, shouldn't your guide have advised you to go around the Desert of Death rather than straight through it? Everyone from the north takes that route to Kratia." "Yes," Asina replied. "I know. They did suggest that route, but I refused. Then I understand even less. Why risk your life crossing the desert?" Everything she said so far, I can't tell if she's being truthful, but this time, I'll know if she's lying about why she crossed the desert. "Now, let's see what you're hiding behind that beautiful mask." Asina calmly recounted her experiences. In the northern continent, the mountains change color with the seasons, and the grasslands are always lush and green. But what we don't have is an ocean of sand. That's why I always wanted to see the desert, Nasir. Her words surprised me. Born in Pizian, raised in this barren desert, I had never felt that way. What did you think after seeing it? Asina's face lit up as she recalled the feeling. "It was more magnificent than I ever imagined," she replied enthusiastically. "It was so beautiful, I forgot I was standing under the scorching sun. So I was surprised to hear such a magnificent place called the Desert of Death." Nasir smiled, sensing something, and said, "I understand. I think you're the only person in the world who would compliment the Desert of Death, Lady Asina. I can't deny that you're being truthful. Your eyes prove it. Would you mind looking at this, Lady Asina? This is my bag. Yes, we've inspected the contents and will return anything that isn't suspicious. We'll have to keep anything that requires further investigation." Asina reassured herself internally. It'll probably be all right. The notebook was the most important item, and it had been protected with a spell. Then, Nasir stood up and declared, "The investigation concludes here today. I'm afraid we'll be seeing each other more often from now on, my lady." Asina laughed it off, but inwardly, she told herself she wouldn't be here long enough for that. A while later, in Nasir's study, "Oh, Kareem, you've arrived. I have a task for you. From now on, I want you to guard the harem. A woman has been brought there. Kareem grimaced, displeased. What are you saying? I'm Raken's personal guard. A brief introduction to those known as Raken's guards. They were formidable desert warriors. Because they had no other way to survive in this barren land, some of them served Raken, regardless of their clan. These warriors were called the Emperor's Guard, or sometimes Tamer, and Kareem was the strongest among them. Back to Kareem, he was grumbling and annoyed about this assignment. He couldn't accept having to protect a lowly foreign woman. He only wanted to serve Raken. Nasir responded calmly, "You don't seem very happy about this. Who is she, and why is she important enough to warrant your protection? There are many suspicious things about her. Her reason for coming to the desert is still unclear. The luggage she brought is also suspicious. It's absurd for her to be traveling alone." "Yes," Kareem answered, clenching his fists in anger. "I can't understand it. If she's suspicious, why don't you just kill her?" Yes, that's true, but I don't think she's a spy. It's strange, isn't it? Besides, this isn't just my order, it's also Jockin's. I believe there's a reason he brought her into the harem. Are you going to defy him, Kareem?" In the harem, Asina lay listlessly on her bed. She thought about the scribe, Nasir. He seemed like a good person, but will he believe I'm an explorer? Looking at how I've acted so far, it would be strange if he didn't think I was a spy. Krongwa and Kratia are allies, but both countries are enemies of Pizian. If my identity is exposed, after admitting that I want to Kratia, my family, as well as Krongwa, will suffer severe consequences. Of course, I know my parents won't be easily defeated by a conflict like this. But no matter what, I don't want to cause them trouble. My father has always supported my adventures, and my mother loves me very much, even though she's a bit strict. I've caused them enough grief already, so I don't want this to affect them. What should I do? Lost in thought, she heard a knock at the door. "May I come in, Lady Asina? Is something the matter?" "New York. His Majesty's guard will be here to protect you." "A royal guard? Isn't that someone who works for Jockin?" Before the servant could finish, the guard burst in and walked straight towards Asina. He stopped in front of her bed and looked at her with contempt. Kareem thought, scowling. "Why is someone like you here?" Asina noticed the hostility in his expression. She was used to this kind of reaction. Many places weren't welcoming to foreigners. In these situations, it was best to be polite. "It's a pleasure to meet you. Please forgive me, but I don't have time for pleasantries. I'm not yet familiar with the customs here. I hope you'll understand." Asina's forced cheerfulness seemed to confuse Kareem. He thought, "I heard she escaped from prison. I expected her to be tougher. How could she have escaped from Hanem prison with such a frail physique, and even made it here from the northern continent? Perhaps I was wrong to stare. Please forgive my rudeness. I am Kareem, and I am Asina. If you could, please call me by my name instead of Era." Kareem bowed slightly. "Of course, miss. I'll be standing guard outside. Call me if you need anything." He then promptly left to take his post. Asina wondered, besides Nasir, now there's another one keeping an eye on me. Escaping from this place will be even harder now. This is stressful. I should take a walk. Sitting here won't change anything. I'll go see how the palace is laid out. As she strolled along, a voice startled her. "Where are you going?" Asina spun around. Sihit's affectionate gaze filled her with dread. Watching him approach, Asina froze. "Oh my God, why do I keep running into this guy? He's the last person I want to see, and yet here he is." Feeling uncomfortable, Asina snapped, "Hey, stop staring at me like that. I know I'm acting suspiciously. You've only just realized you're being suspicious. Unbelievable. So why are you here?" Sihit chuckled. "Do I need a reason to visit my own harem?" Asina immediately retorted, "That's not what I meant. What's your real reason for being here? If it's to investigate me, Nasir has surely already reported back to you." Sihit placed a finger on his chin, feigning a thoughtful expression, and replied, "Perhaps I simply wanted to see you." Asina's jaw dropped. She stammered, flustered, Look here. Your Majesty, Jockin. Have you lost your mind?" Seeing her adorable awkwardness, Sihit smiled inwardly. Blushing, he thought, "I'm never bored around this woman. Most people look at me with reverence. Or fear. But this woman is different. She feels neither. The way she looks at me, it's exactly what's reflected in her eyes. She looks at me without a trace of fear." Astonishing. His thoughts trailing off, Sihit gently caressed and kissed Asina's hair. Then, with a sweet smile, he asked, "Are you comfortable in my harem?" Asina blushed crimson. "Your Majesty, She was overwhelmed by Sihit's affectionate gestures and speechless. He continued, gently tucking her hair behind her ear, creating a romantic scene. "Your Majesty, Jockin, How long are you going to keep this up? Asina asked shyly, stepping back slightly from his tender touch. Sihit remained still, his gaze fixed on her. The setting sun cast a warm glow, deepening the emotions between them. The moment stirred something within her. Asina's shyness and hesitation gave Sihit a new perspective on her. Is she uncomfortable around me? Or is it because I'm a man? At that time, I just wanted to test her. I didn't expect her to be so inexperienced in these kinds of situations. She's quite an interesting woman. Breaking the silence, Asina suddenly spoke. If I had known you were Yakin, I wouldn't have run over to ask for directions. He replied seriously, a woman traveling alone in the Death Desert and asking for directions to the enemy's territory. That alone is suspicious enough. But I'm curious about something else. I want to know how you escaped from Jahanam prison. Yathan, Namibia. Is he talking about that prison? No one has ever escaped from Jahanam prison. Except you. Was it just luck? He pressed. Tell me more, traveler. Faced with his sharp words, Asina could only chuckle nervously. Since she had actually picked the lock to escape, she had no choice but to reply. The door was open, so I just walked out. That sounds ridiculous, yet convincing. Sid suddenly burst out laughing. You should think about the consequences before spouting such nonsense. Haha, I think you're right. Suddenly, Asina grabbed his hand. What do I have to do to make you let me go? Sihit lifted her chin and said, then prove it. Give me proof that you're innocent, and I'll let you go. A while later, Asina fumed, still bothered by the earlier events. Give you proof. Huh, I'd rather escape. Besides, she thought, I wonder if he's going to stay in the harem all night. Because of him, I haven't been able to get a wink of sleep. God, please just go away, you jerk. I hope he doesn't show up today. The next morning, Asina and Nur were strolling around the harem. So the harem is deep inside the palace. Is it usually this big? By the way, Nur, why is the harem so large? Yes, do you wish to know more about it? This is where the emperor's wives live. However, the harem is within the palace. It's not just for Jockin's women, but also a home for young women without families. That's why it's so large. Asina was startled. Don't tell me Jockin takes them as concubines when they grow up. Nur quickly explained that there had been a few such cases, but normally Jockin would marry them off to influential men. In Pizian, there are a total of 6 high-ranking chieftains and 48 generals. Jockin orders them to marry women from the harem to curb their growing power through marriage. Oh, I see. So, is there anyone here I should be wary of? Asina thought to herself, the most dangerous person here is none other than that brute, Sihit, who's always suspicious of me. But if possible, I'd rather avoid making enemies with anyone else. Nur tried to recall a few names, then settled on one. After Sihit, the most powerful person in the palace is probably the Grand Vizier. At the same time, in the palace, a man approached. Your Majesty, Sihit, forgive me for not presenting myself sooner. Affairs of state have been rather busy lately. I understand, Grand Vizier Nadike. I know it must have been difficult for you, shouldering the burden of Pizian alone while I was away. The Grand Vizier cursed inwardly. Such hypocrisy. He knows I deliberately avoided him, the sly serpent. But outwardly, he maintained a courteous demeanor. I believe we should hold a banquet to welcome your Majesty's safe return. Sihit replied, Oh, a banquet. Is that necessary? Of course, Your Majesty. Every few years, Jockin makes a pilgrimage to the treacherous oasis of Israel. The people of Pizian have fasted and prayed for your safe return. They prayed that you wouldn't encounter any danger in the desert and wouldn't abandon them forever. When Jockin returns safely, a week-long feast is held, and everyone celebrates together that their God has not forsaken them. Sihit suddenly grew pensive. Oh, I don't know. It seems you have another reason. Nadike bowed his head slightly. No, Your Majesty, that is all. Sihit chuckled. Is that all? Very well. I look forward to your banquet. Thank you, Your Majesty. Truly, is that all? I believe you still have something to say to me. He suddenly looked up and said, Your Majesty, it's about the harem. May I offer my daughter to you? I believe you remember my daughter, Zakiya. You previously expressed no interest in women and rejected her. But now it seems you've changed your mind. Recognizing the implication in Nadike's sly smile, Jockin looked at him coldly and thought, yes, he's not even trying to hide his investigation. He then replied firmly, Nadike, I understand your good intentions, but I will not take anyone else into the harem. Nadike's face registered surprise. What? What do you mean? Jockin stood up and walked away, ignoring him. That's enough. This audience is over. Feeling frustrated, Nadike pleaded, Wait, your majesty. Jockin, filled with anger, glared at him sharply. Before the emperor's imposing and murderous aura, Nadike couldn't help but shudder and shrink back, watching Jockin leave. The scene shifts back to the harem. Asina looked around as if searching for someone. From the moment she arrived, walking through the spacious grounds and magnificent palaces, Asina felt as though she was being watched. Because they were trying to conceal their presence, an ordinary person wouldn't notice. Suddenly sensing something, Asina rushed forward, ignoring Newer's confusion. She stopped in front of an alcove by a pillar. Suddenly, she spotted a man hiding there. Asina was quite surprised to recognize Kareem, the man who had been following her this whole time. Kareem, what are you doing here? Aren't you supposed to be outside the harem? Having been discovered, Kareem simply remained silent under Asina's judging gaze. She thought to herself, he's probably monitoring me. He must still suspect me. Too bad for him. I caught him in the act. Hee, I should tease him a little. But Kareem, on closer inspection, you're actually quite handsome. I just realized you're kind of a heartthrob. So, do you have a girlfriend? Hearing this, Kareem started to feel flustered. Asina continued, not letting up, girls must like you a lot, right? You must be very popular with the ladies. I'm going to keep rambling until you give up. Is that a great sword or a shamshir? So cool. Can I touch it? Faced with Asina's teasing and prodding, Kareem could only stammer in embarrassment. He was good at training men, but terrible at talking to women. Asina continued her relentless teasing for a while longer, showing no signs of letting him off the hook. When did you become a guard? Did you have to pass a test or something? When did you first hold a sword? 3 or 4 years old? Newer, who had been following along, couldn't help but feel exasperated. Just then, footsteps approached. A voice rang out, startling them both. Since when were you two so close? Asina was surprised to see Sihit arrive at the harem at this hour. His presence brought a somber atmosphere. Nasir also hurried over. Oh, Sihit, why are you rushing around? He suddenly realized the tense situation unfolding before him. As Sihit stared intently at Kareem, he asked, his voice burning with possessiveness, so you like my guard? Nasir, standing behind them, couldn't help but feel apprehensive. He silently warned Asina, be careful and don't provoke him. But contrary to Nasir's expectations, Asina cupped her face and replied with amusement, oh, why? Of course I like him. All women like knights. Not to mention, Kareem is very handsome. Her answer left Kareem beside her utterly shocked, while Nasir could only lament, boo-hoo, please don't do this, Miss Asina. Sihit, silently seething with jealousy, emitted a dark aura. Oh, I understand, Asina said, her tone quickly turning cold, then continued provocatively. You ran all the way from the palace just to ask this. Just about my taste in men. Sihit could only offer a helpless laugh at her defiant attitude. This girl is giving me a headache, Newer thought, then prompted Nasir to get to the point. Nasir quickly wiped his sweat and said, actually, I'm the one who wanted to talk to you, Mrs. Sina. I want to ask you about the northern continent. I really want to know more about it, and since you're from there. Before he could finish, Asina held out her hand, leaving Nasir confused. You don't think I'll answer those questions for free, do you? Nasir, flustered, turned to Sihit for guidance, but was met with an indifferent look. He decided to act on his own. So what do you want in exchange? He took the bait. Asina thought, quickly replying, return my bag. Seeing her insistence on getting her bag back, Sihit asked suspiciously, why do you want it back so badly? Is there something important inside? I heard it's even protected by a spell. Caught off guard, Asina stammered, oh dear, what should I say? I'll have to try this. Suddenly, she yelled, because it's my underwear. That's why I put a protection spell on the bag, so no one else could see them. Upon hearing this, both men were so shocked their jaws dropped. Sihit, caught completely by surprise, burst into laughter, clutching his stomach. Annoyed, Asina snapped, why are you laughing? I'm serious. She's really hard to predict. Just give it back to her. Yes, Nasir. A romantic sunset at the Pizian Palace. Hearing you mention it, Nasir, she seems curious about the dates here in the south. So, let her enjoy them. Asina is thrilled and happily accepts. So, what do you want to know about the north? About to enjoy a date, Asina pauses at Nasir's proposal. I have some questions about Chrome War. Could you tell me everything? Just tell me what you know. Asina is surprised by the request and hesitates. I just need to tell him some general knowledge, right? After thinking it over, she agrees. All right. I'll tell you about the nature, the people, and the politics of Chrome War. It's a place of lush greenery, and the people there are very friendly. Since I was born, I've been incredibly proud of my country. After traveling all over, I love it even more. It's my precious homeland. There are two powerful families in Chrome War. The Cardians, strong in military might, while the Astasti are renowned as a family of scholars and knowledge. That's what people say about them. But with the protection of these two powerful families, the royal family is invincible. No force can overthrow them. So the political situation in Chrome War is very stable. Actually, there's never been an uprising there. After meticulously noting down the information Asina shared, Nasir gently sets his pen down and replies, "Oh, I understand. Thank you. You've told me a lot of interesting things." Then he continues, with a look of suspicion, "It seems like Miss Asina here knows quite a lot about Chrome War." Realizing she may have gone overboard and made him suspicious, she quickly defends herself. "No, it's just common knowledge. I assure you, anyone in the North would tell you the same." Nasir simply smiled as if realizing something. Then he gathered his papers and said, "Well, that's enough for today. Next time, please tell me more about Chrome War, my lady." Asina was taken aback. "Next time? What do you mean? Wait, when will you return my bag?" Nasir replied with a sly grin. "I'll return it when I've asked all my questions." Asina felt furious, realizing she had been tricked. Damn it, that bastard. He tricked me. Not long after, night fell over the Pisan palace. The sky was blanketed with thousands of mysterious stars. They formed a dazzling display of shimmering, captivating lights. At that moment, Asina was sneaking around somewhere in the palace. She thought to herself, "It seems I need to come back here. Security here is quite lax. The number of patrol guards and their timing are fixed. Once I grasp the palace's structure, escaping will be easier than eating cake. The problem is reaching Sot after escaping. It's a small country located between the north and south, but I'll worry about that later. Right now, I need to get out of this palace." Suddenly, Asina sensed a strange presence. A curious and dangerous gaze was watching her from somewhere. The feeling spread through her body like a cold wave from head to toe. She quickly turned, jumped down, and hid in a dark corner to avoid their gaze. "I can feel someone watching me. How did they know I was up here? I'm so high up, it should be difficult to be noticed." At the same time, a man whispered from a woman. The Grand Vizier, Nate Dyke, standing beside him, asked curiously, "What is it?" The man fell silent for a moment, listening to the sounds he had just heard. Then he looked towards where Asina was hiding and replied, "Oh, it's nothing, Grand Vizier. I thought I saw someone over there, but it was probably just a small animal." A moment later, at a bathing pool in the harem, Asina sighed in relief after escaping the man's gaze. "That was close. I almost got caught. Even though it was just a glance, I had a really bad feeling about him. Very different from Emperor Jockin's gaze. His gaze was completely domineering, while that man's gaze felt like a snake constricting around me. I really don't want to see that man again." Relaxing in the water and looking at my reflection, that I suddenly noticed something unusual. Wait a minute, my earrings have changed color. I knew they were running low on energy and needed a rest for a while, but I didn't expect them to change color so soon. I have to take them off first. It won't be good if I keep wearing them like this. There's no other way. I need to partially dispel their enchantment. After I finished bathing, the handmaiden, Newer, was gently brushing my hair. Partially dispelling the earrings' enchantment slightly changed my eye color. But it's not too noticeable, and it seems Newer hasn't noticed the change either. This way, the enchantment can last a little longer. Oh, Newer suddenly spoke. "Oh, right, Mississippi. I forgot to tell you something." "What is it, Newer?" "Well, actually, Emperor Jockin has been waiting for you since earlier." Hearing those words was like a bolt from the blue. Seeing him sitting there the whole time, I couldn't help but snap. "Oh, why are you here so often these days? Do you have buried treasure here or something?" Jockin calmly closed his book and replied, "Oh, I need a reason to visit my beloved concubine." "Really?" Asina retorted crankily, "Don't joke around. Just do whatever you want." Annoyed, she ignored him and went inside. Seeing her long, flowing hair, Jockin, curious, asked, "I've always wondered, why is your hair so long? Doesn't it get in the way when you're traveling?" Asina gently stroked her glossy hair and replied, "I initially planned to cut it before my journey, but my family would have been furious if I had. From my parents to my cousins and friends, none of them would have allowed it. According to them, a lady should have long hair. I figured it was better to just let it grow and avoid any trouble, so I just let it grow naturally." Jockin continued, "So you're an only child. I haven't heard you mention any siblings." She answered honestly, "Yes, your majesty, but I have cousins. They're like siblings to me." Suddenly, Jockin called her name, Asina. "Is that your name?" "Yes, why do you ask?" He slowly sat up and walked towards her. "Your real name?" She chuckled and replied, "Yes, it is. Do you think I'd lie about that? My parents had everyone in the family vote for 3 months to choose my name. Asina means light and blessing in ancient Shahanian. Standing before her, Jaqen thought to himself, there's so much I still don't know about this woman, but I think I'm starting to understand a few things. She's not inherently difficult to read or melancholic. I can sense it from the way she talks about her parents. Honestly, you can tell just by looking at her. His thoughts fleeting, he gently placed his hand on her beautiful face. I can tell you were raised with love. Unlike me, Jaqen's eyes suddenly grew sad. He silently contemplated Asina for a moment. Now I'm even more curious. Why would a girl raised with a family's love choose to leave it all behind and choose to walk such a difficult path? Asina quickly brushed his hand away and retorted, well, let me ask you this. Why do you always stay cooped up at home? Your Majesty. Sir. Oh dear, I just acted rudely to the Emperor, didn't I? Your Majesty, or should I call you Jaqen? Is that what you want me to call you? Oh, of course not. So how about C? What does it even mean? Nasir often calls you that, doesn't he? He explained, CH is the name of a god. It means my divine being. Oh, so what should I call you then? His name is SH Gen Beta. SH means God, and Jaqen means king. Could Beta be his real name? Suddenly, Asina thought of a name and said, Beihai. I'll call you that, okay? A radiant smile bloomed on Jaqen's lips. That's a nice name. He happily accepted the name, a nickname that brought a feeling of warmth and closeness. Seeing his smile, Asina's eyes lit up and her cheeks flushed. Wow, this is the first time I've seen him smile so brightly. She felt shy and quickly turned away. But why are you asking me so many questions, Beihai? Don't you have other things to do? Jaqen crossed his arms and replied, because I've fallen for you. Asina froze. The words, like an unexpected confession, left her surprised and flustered. Flustered, she replied, don't say things you don't mean. Before she could deny it further, Jaqen grasped her hand. He abruptly pulled her close and embraced her. What makes you think I don't mean it? She turned to look at him, embarrassed. Her heart pounded in her chest as she felt his warmth radiating through her, creating a feeling both overwhelming and familiar. Suddenly, he bent down and kissed her lips. The unexpected and passionate kiss startled her, leaving her flustered and unsure how to react. For a moment, the only sound in the room was their combined breaths. He pressed her further into a corner, the kiss deepening in intensity. Asina found herself unable to resist the sweet, burning sensation. Why is he doing this? This is dangerous. I have to fight back. The thought had barely formed when he abruptly stopped, leaving her stunned. He pulled back, lost in thought. I almost lost control just then. Why? Who is this woman to me? He gently grasped her arm. You seem inexperienced with men. She jerked her arm away, her voice sharp. Why would I need that kind of experience? He replied, because then I wouldn't have to simply stop at a kiss like that. We could go further. Asina blushed, biting her lip. She burst out angrily. Why are you doing this to me? I told you, he said, I've fallen for you. So I don't want to force you and pretend I didn't see. His voice trailed off. Your eyes changed color. Asina froze, shocked that he had noticed such a subtle shift. No, it can't be. How did he see that? I thought the change was so slight. It's hard to notice unless you look closely. Swallowing hard, Asina feigned ignorance. What do you mean? My color changed. She pushed past him, avoiding his gaze. Excuse me, I need to look in a mirror. Calm down, she told herself. He's just testing me. That's what he does. Standing before the mirror, Asina took a deep breath, trying to mask her anxiety. Are you sure you weren't mistaken? I looked in the mirror carefully, and I don't see any change. She stared at Jaqen intently, maintaining her composure and resolute demeanor. Under that sharp, penetrating gaze, even the slightest lapse in her expression could arouse his suspicion. Jaqen's gaze remained fixed on Asina. His mind was still preoccupied with her eyes. There's no way I can miss a change. I'm always looking at her beautiful eyes. The more I learn about this woman, the more curious I become. She's always on guard whenever I approach, but she doesn't try to push me away. I sense she's not exactly lying to me, but she's hiding a lot of things. Who is this woman, really? Why am I letting myself fall for her tricks? Although he knew it was a lie, Jaqen remained silent. He looked directly into Asina's eyes for a moment, then decided to play along. Perhaps I was mistaken. Yes. A while later, the late-night silence settled over the palace. Under the gentle moonlight, accompanied by the soft breeze in the harem, a quiet conversation unfolded between two people. Asina, yes, you haven't told me why you want to travel. Speaking of her journey, Asina expressed her feelings openly and without hesitation. It's not just a whim, father. The world we live in is truly beautiful, isn't it? You'd be ashamed of yourself if you stayed in one place until you died. Don't you agree? Jaqen, however, had a different perspective. That's strange. I've never thought about leaving this place. She sighed in response. I understand. That's also why a lot of people find me strange. Anyway, bye-bye. Why are you still here at this hour? Where are you finally going to leave? Don't tell me you're planning to stay all night. He looked intently at her and said, what's the problem with staying with me? She gave a helpless laugh. Yes, there is. How can I sleep if you keep staying here like this? He continued to tease. Why can't you sleep when I'm here? Annoyed, she snapped, do I really need to explain it to you? Suddenly, he embraced her tightly, startling her. Her face flushed crimson, her heart pounding in her chest. Faced with his gentle embrace, she stammered, flustered, what were you doing? He closed his eyes and whispered, let's go to sleep. Or, do you want to go back to where we were before and continue what we were doing? But Asina could only feel embarrassed, remembering the scene from earlier. They had been kissing passionately. With no other choice, she resigned herself to sleeping with him in amusement, no, in annoyance. The next morning was a bright and energetic start to a new day. But not for Asina. Her face was like that of a corpse, exhausted. She was still bitter about last night's events. Is this a new form of torture? Thanks to him, I couldn't sleep a wink all night. Nighttime would be advantageous for me to move around since no one can see me. But now I won't have time to leave the harem if he keeps visiting me at night. No, this won't do. I have to think of another way. If nighttime doesn't work, I'll have to take advantage of the daytime. Otherwise, I'll never escape from here. Without hesitation, she began to explore other parts of the palace she had never been to before. Suddenly, she saw the same handmaidens from before, discussing some plan. They seemed very urgent about it. Curious, Asina asked, is everyone always this busy? Or am I the only one with so much free time? I see everyone's so busy. New York was happy to explain. I think they're preparing for the upcoming banquet. Oh, what banquet? We're holding a banquet to celebrate His Majesty's safe return. There will be a huge festival, both inside and outside the palace. Wow, really? It seems escaping will be easier for me then. With the crowds flocking to the festival, no one will notice me disappearing. This is the perfect opportunity. I'll find a way to get my bag back and escape on the second day of the banquet. From afar, a red-haired woman saw her and started keeping an eye on her. Asina was still secretly plotting her escape. I also have to shake off those who are watching me, like that Kareem fellow, for instance. What a coincidence at that moment, Kareem happened to be passing by. Seeing him like seeing a juicy target, she hurried over to pick a conversation. Hello, where are you going? Seeing her rushing towards him, his face turned pale as a sheet. He just turned around when her hand grabbed his arm. Hey, where do you think you're going? Did you just see a ghost or something? You look terrified. Kareem had been avoiding Asina ever since he received a glare from Jaqen. The other reason was probably her teasing nature. Helpless, he turned back to look at her, a bored expression on his face, thinking to himself, this woman is such a nuisance. She's about to start rambling about nonsense again. Oh, woe is me. She's speaking so carelessly again. Kareem, I've noticed the guards around me all seem to prefer quiet and are very polite to women. You're like that too, right? She smirked, a smug smile spreading across her face. Hee, I'll annoy him until he gives up on following me. Exasperated with her, Kareem retorted, why are you asking me such questions, Lady Asina? Are you interested in me? Yes, I'm extremely interested in learning about you. If that's the case, you should save those feelings for another guard. I know you like the guards, but according to the rules, we're not even supposed to talk to each other. While they were chatting, a woman slowly approached from behind. Then, a shrill voice suddenly rang out. Kareem is right. How can an era like you flirt with a guard? What will you do if His Majesty finds out? Asina was suddenly surprised by the appearance of this elegant and splendid red-haired woman. Oh, it's Lady Zakiya. I heard His Majesty returned, so I came to greet him. Are you new to the harem? Allow me to introduce myself. I am the eldest daughter of Grand Vizier Gadik. My name is Zakiya. It's a pleasure to meet you. Faced with her sharp and luxurious beauty, Asina couldn't help but admire her. She's so beautiful, completely different from northern women. Alluring curly red hair and emerald green eyes. Her features are delicate and sharp, along with a sensual sun-kissed complexion. Her beauty reminds me of a vibrant red ranunculus. a perfect and refined beauty. Moreover, it exudes vitality and captivates all eyes. But why is Kareem acting like this? Why is he so wary of such a beautiful woman? Kareem looked at her sternly with suspicion. You said you came to greet His Majesty, so why are you here? Especially when you and the Era have never met before. Zakiya didn't flinch at Kareem's suspicion. I just happened to see you two while passing by and was drawn to your unusual behavior. Perhaps because you're from the north, you're not familiar with Pizian customs. But as an Era, you're not allowed to meet or talk with other men. However, it seems like you two are secretly meeting like lovers. Her judgmental and provocative words filled the air with drama in the face of such accusations. Kareem, unable to contain his anger, spoke up. How dare you accuse us like that? Suddenly, Asina rushed forward. You're Zakiya, aren't you? Standing before this woman, a thought crossed her mind. It's been a while since anyone's looked at me with such envy. This is interesting. In situations like this, I only have one option. So you thought I was flirting with Kareem? Asina flashed a bright smile. Actually, he seemed a little tense, so I was just joking around. But I can understand why you'd suspect us of sneaking around. Thanks for the heads up. The best way to deal with this is to pretend I don't know anything. Indeed, Zakiya was annoyed by Asina's feigned innocence, but could do nothing but silently curse her. Such a liar. Why did His Majesty even bring you into the harem? Asina continued to provoke her. But didn't you say you came here to see Beihai? Instead of gossiping with me, you should go see him. Hearing Asina's thinly veiled dismissal, Zakiya could only clench her skirt in frustration. How dare she use his name so casually? To maintain her pride and dignity, she could only leave in a huff. Excuse me for interrupting. I'll be going now. Yes, goodbye. Zakiya stormed off, then looked back with a glare of pure jealousy. Looks like I just made an enemy. She doesn't like me, does she, Kareem? Oh, I don't think so, Mississippi. Not long after, on the way to the palace, the handmaidens greeted Zakiya warmly. Hello, miss. It's been a while since you've been to the palace. Yes, it has been a while. Have a good day, Mississippi. But behind her back, they whispered about the harem. Now, there's the Era. Should be quiet. She'll hear you. Lady Zakiya will become the next Era, right? I think so too. Even without the title, everyone here treats her like a Persian princess. Meanwhile, Zakiya was still thinking about Asina. I've seen many women become arrogant because they're favored by Yakin or the nobles. But this woman has a different aura. She has the confidence of true nobility. Just who is she? Her thoughts subsided as she arrived at Siha's palace gates. I'm here to see Lord Siha. Lady Zakiya, Lord Siha is currently meeting with someone else. Zakiya was startled. What? Who is it? I sent a request for an audience beforehand. The guard respectfully replied, yes, he's speaking with High Commander Varen. Inside the palace, greetings, Varen. My lord, greetings to the Almighty of Pizian. I come representing Gusara. I trust you had a safe pilgrimage. Standing before this man, Siha was wary and cautious. This was Varen, one of the dangerous ones, a threat to Yakin's power, plotting rebellion. This man was the mastermind, pulling strings from the shadows, a viper in disguise. But Siha maintained a calm facade and replied, it was uneventful. How is Sarah? With the ongoing conflict, you must be under a lot of pressure. Varen responded, yes, my lord. Tensions between Croatia and us are escalating, but this is common at this time of year. Everything will be fine. Is that so? If you require any assistance, just let me know. My secretary will handle it. Thank you for your kindness and concern, my lord. Haha, don't be so formal. Please sit. It's been a while since we last spoke. Outside, Nasir waited anxiously for an audience. They had been inside for a while now, perhaps an hour. The other chieftains had all left. Only High Commander Varen remained. He was unexpectedly tenacious, able to withstand Siha's pressure. Of course, that was just Nasir's imagination. But in reality, the scene inside was much as Nasir had pictured. Despite the pressure, Varen remained unfazed. There was nothing more to glean from him. Siha finally said, you are dismissed. I have another appointment. Varen bowed. Yes, my lord. While I am here, I will visit you often. Siha affected generosity. Of course, feel free to make yourself at home. As Varen left, Siha continued to watch him, a thoughtful expression on his face. I spent a full hour trying to extract information, but he didn't show a hint of fatigue. He truly is a member of the esteemed Sahim clan. Unlike the other chieftains, I can't discern his intentions. Perhaps I need to investigate him further. Reaching the palace gates, Varen happened upon Nasir. He approached and greeted him. It's been a while, Nasir. Seeing him, Nasir asked, Varen, did you just meet with Lord Siha? He nodded. Indeed, despite the arduous pilgrimage, his health is excellent. And I also heard some good news. Varen's words sparked a flicker of annoyance in Nasir. His tone sounded almost as if he'd hoped Siha was unwell. Maintaining a cordial facade, Nasir inquired, oh, what good news is that? I heard Siha has taken a new woman into his harem. He's young, so people hesitate to speak, but everyone is worried about his lineage. They fear there will be no heir. Nasir forced a smile. Is that so? That truly is good news. Sensing Varen was starting to delve into harem matters, he excused himself. Forgive me, Varen, but I must go. Lord Siha is waiting. My apologies for holding you up. No apologies necessary. Nasir, Varen replied. I should apologize for keeping you. After a long meeting with Siha and then Nasir, Varen sighed and exclaimed, this place is more stressful than ever. I really don't belong in these capital cities. Unlike that Sa Kuan, the previous emperor. The current emperor, Ra Kuan, is truly formidable. He's the one who ended the bloodshed and seized control of Pizian. But he's a bit different now compared to a few years ago when I last saw him. Back then, he looked like he was nearing the end of his life. But now he's full of vitality. It's strange that he'd break his own rules and take a woman into his harem. Perhaps this is related to his recent change. Lost in thought, he suddenly noticed someone approaching. Noticing an unfamiliar woman being escorted by Kareem, Varen, curious, approached and started a conversation. Long time no see. Kareem, upon seeing him, retorted, You always irritate me, Varen. Although my name is Kareem, I don't think our relationship is close enough for you to address me so casually, High Commander. Varen replied, Oh, you're still as prickly as ever, Kareem. He then glanced at Asina and asked, And who might this young lady be? Kareem quickly stepped in front of her protectively. Please show some respect to Era. Varen's expression turned to surprise. She's Era. So this is Lord Yakin's woman, the one I've heard rumors about. Asina suddenly realized something upon hearing the man's words. This voice, I've heard somewhere before. All doubt vanished. It's the man from yesterday. He's rather handsome, considering his tone. Varen bowed slightly and spoke politely. Please forgive my rudeness, Lady Asina. I am Varen, High Commander of Saza. It is a pleasure to meet you. Although he looked quite handsome, something about him made her feel uneasy. Thinking this, she replied, It's all right. I forgive you. She sensed something unusual in his manner of speaking and his attitude. He smirked. How interesting. The woman Yakin brought back is truly extraordinary. Unlike the obedient women of Pizian, she has the air of a noble, radiating elegance. Very interesting. Varen smiled and offered a compliment. Thank you. You're not only beautiful, but also kind. No wonder Ra Kuan is so enamored with you. Kareem began to worry upon hearing Varen's flattery. Sweating, he looked at Asina and thought, no, please stop. If you keep talking like this woman will. Indeed, Asina immediately became smug and spoke carelessly. Let me tell you, Ra Kuan fell head over heels in love with me at first sight to the point of bringing me to the harem. Oh dear, being this beautiful is so tiring. Kareem, standing beside her, could only shake his head in exasperation at her behavior. Contrary to Kareem, Varen was surprised. Really, Ra Kuan, so cold to women, fell in love with you at first sight. Putting aside his thoughts in surprise, he spoke warmly. You must have faced many difficulties. What do you think of the Pizian Palace? Is it comfortable? Asina responded amiably. Well, everyone here is very kind. You said you are the High Commander. Yes, my lady. Please, call me Varen. Then you, Lord Varen, are also very kind. Oh, is that so? Thank you for the compliment. Varen chuckled to himself, thinking, I can't believe Yakin is infatuated with her just for her looks. Suddenly, Asina nudged Kareem and asked, Didn't you say Era wasn't allowed to talk to other men? I'm afraid she'll cause trouble for me again. Kareem responded with a frown. Yes, that's right. Did she finally remember that? Asina immediately turned to look at Varen and gave a knowing smile, her eyes as if to say, You heard that, right? Realizing he was the one who started the conversation, Varen gave an apologetic smile. Oh, my bad. I didn't mean any disrespect. Outwardly apologetic, he inwardly fumed. Who does she think she's talking down to? She continued, Ra Kuan won't like this. We should keep this a secret. Otherwise, he'll be upset. Yes, I understand. See you later, Aira. Asina turned to Kareem. Let's go. As they left, she turned back and stuck her tongue out at Varen, taunting him. Huh, that's what you get for getting in my way the other day. Despite feeling a little apprehensive about him, she felt strangely exhilarated. Varen remained silently standing there, a mysterious and dangerous smile playing on his lips. Later, in Nasir's study. Hello, Lady Asina. Hello, Nasir. What do you want to ask me today? Nasir smiled. Why don't we have some tea while we talk? Asina's eyes were drawn to a bag hanging nearby. To get her bag back, she had to answer his questions. After a while, Asina spoke up. May I ask you something, Nasir? Yes, what is it? She remembered Varen and was curious about him. He called himself a high commander, but she couldn't ask Nasir directly. She'd have to be subtle. After a moment of thought, she said, what kind of place is Saza, anyway? At the mention of Saza, Nasir paused. He hesitated for a moment, then replied, Saza, I don't understand why you're suddenly asking about this, but it's the smallest of the 6 autonomous regions of Pizian. However, to this day, it's the region that causes the most concern for R.A. Cohen. It's a fertile land, despite being the smallest, but Saza pays the most taxes and tributes. The leader of Saza, of course, also holds significant influence in Pizian as it lies on the border. Therefore, Saza has built a powerful army to counter any conflicts that may arise. Moreover, the current Grand Leader. At this point, Nasir paused. Seeing Asina's eager anticipation, he quickly waved his hand dismissively. Oh, it's nothing. I shouldn't mention him. Suddenly, a knock came from outside the door, followed by a voice. Excuse me, Lord Nasir. He immediately rushed to open the door and listen to the situation. Suddenly, a startled cry rang out. What? Nasir appeared flustered. Please forgive me, Lady Asina, but due to an urgent matter, I must attend to it immediately. Asina graciously offered her understanding. It's all right, you can go. I hope it's nothing serious. While Nasir was outside, she stealthily eyed the bag behind him. She surreptitiously inched closer. Taking advantage of his distraction, she swiftly reached out and snatched the bag. Suddenly, a slight clinking sound made Nasir spin around. It turned out to be just the sound of the teacup Asina was enjoying. But his gaze lingered on the bag, suspicion evident in his eyes. I feel like something just happened, or maybe it's just my imagination. Not long after, I apologize for inviting you here, but I'm afraid we must end our conversation for today. It's all right, Nasir. If you have any questions, feel free to come see me. Yes, Lady Asina. Have a pleasant evening. Scene change, Varen walked silently in the darkness, lost in thought, remembering past events. The faint voice of a dying man's last words echoed in his mind. Please fulfill Saza's long-held wish. You must maintain Saza's independence. Upon returning, Varen's gaze became tinged with sadness as he recalled those unpleasant memories. He'd been in a foul mood all day. Perhaps it was because of that woman. Before she appeared, he and Yakin had been close. But now, Yakin had a woman by his side. His face seemed more vibrant. It felt like Varen was the only one stuck in place. It was irritating. Everything in Pizian remained this tedious. When would he finally escape this emptiness that enveloped him, this lingering boredom and unease? Suddenly, a fleeting figure caught Varen's eye, leaving him stunned. Long, shimmering platinum hair swayed gently in the breeze. A strange feeling washed over him, rooting him to the spot, unable to tear his gaze away from the beautiful figure. A surge of emotion welled up within his heart, disrupting his wandering thoughts. It was a girl of ethereal beauty. Her red eyes sparkled like precious gems, and her platinum hair flowed like moonlight. Just a few hours earlier, in the harem, Lady Asina, I've brought your dinner. You must have been talking with Nasir for quite a while. The food has gone cold. Let me reheat it for you. It's all right, new. It still feels warm and tastes delicious to me. Very well. Please enjoy your meal. I'll take my leave now. I'll return to tidy up later, my lady. Thank you, new. After the servant girl left, Asina immediately went to her bed. She pulled out a bag and began rummaging through it, muttering to herself. Finally, I'm alone here. Suddenly, she retrieved a pouch that Nasir had confiscated. I don't understand why they confiscated this old bag. There's nothing special inside. If I don't undo the spell, it just looks like a bunch of ordinary things. Besides the protection spell, I also cast many other runes. Not only that, this bag was created by master mages. Thanks to that, only I can take things out of it. Moreover, it can hold even very large items. To explain it simply, it's like Doraemon's magic pocket. And these things too, they have helped me a lot. These fake bags are used to deceive deceive others. I often use them to trick my mother. But who knows? Maybe one day I'll need them again. Remembering that moment just now. I'm sorry, Lady Asina. I have an urgent matter to attend to. It's all right, go ahead. While Nasir was busy and looking the other way, I quickly switched the two bags. It seems like everything is still here. That's good. Nothing is missing. But Nasir is very perceptive. He might discover that I switched the bag soon. But it doesn't matter. The banquet is coming soon. It won't be long before I escape from here. So now I'll go scout out the place with the loosest security in the palace. I've almost finished drawing the map of the palace, so it will be easy to escape. But I still don't know where that place is. I've asked many people, but no one would answer me. The more secretive a place is, the more curious I become. So, Asina stealthily made her way towards that tower. Haha, what secret is everyone trying so hard to hide? Is there a cursed object in there? Or is Yakin hiding his son or brother in there? Let's see what they're hiding. Suddenly, she was surprised when she looked inside. Wait a minute, is this a treasure room? Wow, that jewelry is beautiful. I thought they were hiding some earth-shattering secret. How disappointing. The new order will be back to clean up soon. I have to hurry back to the harem. On the way back, her earrings suddenly started flashing intensely. Realizing the change, she was stunned. What? The earrings are vibrating. There's no way they still have energy left. But why aren't they working now? Ah, my hair is changing color. Are the earrings broken? Did I store them incorrectly? I remember keeping them carefully. Why is this happening again? Back to my real form. Asina was extremely confused and flustered as she realized she had completely returned to her original appearance. She was practically out of her mind when she realized she had just walked past someone. Turning back, Varen stood frozen, staring at her with a shocked expression. His emotions were as turbulent as the first time he encountered a fairy. Asina's true form exuded a mystical beauty, like magic from a fairy tale. Her face and figure were so captivating that Varen was completely mesmerized, unable to look away. Indeed, in that moment, his mind seemed hypnotized. He whispered, "Is she a fairy?" Suddenly, a voice called from behind, "High Commander, I was instructed to attend to you. Is something the matter?" The young maid's call broke his trance. Varen startled, turning back to find only empty space. He was dumbfounded, muttering, "She disappeared. Was I sleepwalking? No, it couldn't have been a dream. She was clearly there. I saw her very clearly. Strange, I still remember her beautiful appearance. Her long, shimmering hair like moonlight. Her deep red eyes exuded coldness. Although our eyes met only for a fleeting moment, it left me breathless. He slowly raised his trembling hand, placing it gently on his chest. What did I just see? The young servant stood watching, filled with unease and worry. Is something the matter, High Commander? Meanwhile, Varen's face was gradually flushing crimson. His heart pounded wildly, beating more forcefully than ever before. Varen struggled to suppress his inner turmoil, then calmly replied, "Don't worry about me. Nothing's wrong." Not long after, in the harem, Asina sat dejectedly, lamenting to herself. "Oh, I'm doomed. This time, I'm definitely dead. Ugh, damn it." She angrily threw her earrings and cried out. Why did these earrings run out of power at that very moment? But I hope those Southerners don't know what I really look like. My mother may be very powerful, but I don't think her influence extends all the way to the South. In the North, she's put up posters searching for her daughter across the entire continent. But it'll probably be all right. Since Nasir, it seems like he doesn't have much information about the North, so Varen won't recognize my true appearance. I hope so anyway. Then, she frantically searched for her earrings, muttering to herself, what should I do now? It's a good thing they weren't damaged. If they were broken, I'd be done for too. Oh dear, what should I do? Think, Asina, think. While she was in this desperate state, a knock suddenly echoed at the door. Lady Asina, may I come in? Outside, Neva, hearing no response, grew anxious. Lady Asina, are you all right? Asina stammered back. I'm fine. I'm changing. I ate a bit too much at dinner, and my clothes suddenly feel tight. Then let me help. Before she could finish, Neva was startled by a figure silently approaching from behind. She slowly turned to look, startled by Chad, who was looming behind her. You, Chad, what are you still standing there for? Open the door for me. Chad's sudden appearance made Asina, inside, even more confused and afraid. Chad, him again. She fidgeted restlessly. If he discovered her in this state, he'd kill her. What should she do? She glanced at the glittering earrings in her hand and thought, I have no other choice. He's about to come in. Oh well, just keep up the act. No time to overthink it. Asina quickly put the earrings back on. Suddenly, her hair began to gradually return to its previous brown color. She was shocked and bewildered, not expecting her eye color to change as well. Frustrated, she cursed under her breath. Stupid earrings. Why are they working normally now? What the hell was wrong with them earlier? At that moment, the door opened. Chad slowly stepped in, looked at her, and said, You don't look well. Is something wrong? Seeing him, Asina tried to put aside her anxiety and confusion about the earrings and appear calm. No, nothing's wrong. Chad immediately stared at her and replied, Don't lie. You don't think I can tell? She looked up at him, feeling awkward. Suddenly, the earrings flashed. Chad noticed and asked, What's that? He gently reached up and brushed her hair aside, then lightly touched the glittering earrings. I've noticed your earrings for a while now. Are they magical? Asina immediately started sweating and feeling apprehensive. How is he so perceptive? Does he have some kind of intuitive observation ability? Denying it would be pointless. She had to lie. Yes, a little. They have a protective enchantment. Huh, a protective enchantment. What do you mean? Asina explained, It only works when they come into contact with fire or water. That's why I always wear them when I travel. You never know when you might be in danger. Oh, really? She smugly thought to herself, I just made that up. I can't believe he bought it. Chad suddenly stared at her silently with an affectionate gaze. Asina glanced at him, feeling embarrassed. She asked awkwardly, What are you looking at? Is there something on my face? He smiled gently and replied sweetly, Maybe I'm looking because you're beautiful. Hearing this, her face immediately flushed red, and she denied it. Lies, all lies. Don't lie to me. I know you don't mean it. Chad continued to press. Why would you say that? You always say you're beautiful. So why do you think I'm lying? She sulked, because if it were true, you wouldn't look at me like that. Many men have fallen for me, but none have looked at me the way you do. She thought to herself, reinforcing her words, Yes, that's right. This man says he loves me and compliments my beauty, but his eyes don't say the same. That's not the look a man gives a woman he likes. It's more like a look full of curiosity, as if a toy has caught his attention. What will he do if that curiosity fades? She clenched her fists and continued to snap. I don't know what you're thinking, but what are you planning to do with me? Are you going to kill me? Chad looked deep into her worried eyes and said, Are you dangerous enough to make me resort to eliminating you? Asina replied, Maybe. If so, would you kill me? Chad suddenly fell silent, staring at her for a moment. Then he slowly stepped closer and smirked. Kill you? I don't think so, not yet. I'm still quite intrigued by you. Besides, there's still so much I don't know about you. Now, sit down and tell me about yourself. Who knows? After I hear your story, I might just spare your life. For example, your adventures. Where have you been all this time? I'm very curious. Asina crossed her arms and glanced at Chad, then began, You really want to know? Fine. There's no reason to hide it anyway. Good, then tell me. Chad thought to himself that he had no choice but to humor her and extract more information. I want to hear and learn many things from you. Now I understand why leaders like to keep birds as pets and listen to them chatter about trivial matters. I find it strangely enjoyable. Let me tell you, when I first started, I explored every nook and cranny of the North. My proudest achievement was visiting all 10 tourist destinations of Chrome War. Asina paused, then asked curiously, Oh, wasn't traveling across the continent like that dangerous? She puffed out her chest confidently and began to boast, Well, I may look fragile, but I'm actually very strong. It might be genetic. Chad, not surprised, replied, Right, of course. You even escaped from prison. I suppose I was worrying needlessly. Suddenly, Asina lowered her voice. But there was one time I almost died. Chad, feigning surprise, asked, You almost died? Yes, she replied. It happened while I was visiting the historical ruins in the northern continent. These are remnants of previous civilizations, and I heard they hold ancient legends. Because they're all well hidden, it's very difficult to find any trace of them. But I finally found it. This historical ruin is called Road Queen Hung. The inside seemed quite large. I didn't have a map, so I wondered if I should leave markers. But I didn't want to damage the place. Just as I had entered a short distance, suddenly, the ruins shook violently. Out of nowhere, a wall appeared, blocking the exit. I was trapped inside for a whole month. Until then, I just thought I enjoyed traveling, but I never thought it would be so dangerous. Chad looked at her thoughtfully and sympathetically. You must have been terrified. He silently recalled his own past. A lonely boy facing the barren, scorching desert. Asina honestly expressed her feelings at that time. When I was trapped there, I'm not sure the word terrified accurately describes how I felt. An endless night, for solid walls surrounding me. No matter how hard I chipped away, it wouldn't even scratch. I tried screaming for help, yelling hello. Is anyone out there? I'm trapped here. But above all, the hardest thing to endure was the loneliness. I was stuck in a place with no one and no way out. If I hadn't comforted myself by thinking about the people I met during my journey, I probably would have gone insane. First, I thought about the beautiful landscapes I had conquered. Then I reminisced about happy memories of my beloved family. How foolish I was. My mother was always cold and strict with me, yet I only remembered the warm moments with her. Mother, I'm sorry. That's what happened. After listening, Chad couldn't help but ask, so how did you get here? Seeing his interest in her story, Asina started to play hard to get. You're curious. I won't tell you for free. He cheerfully asked, what do you want in exchange this time? Her face lit up, and she eagerly replied, what do I want this time? Let me see. Hee, I've got it. I want a bowl of dates. Huh? What? Did you just say dates? Asina emphasized, yes, the more dates the better. I tried them last time, and they were really delicious. Oh, so you want a whole date Palm Grove. Not too difficult. I just have to give the order. No, I just want to eat dates. A full bowl will do. She thought to herself, living with him, I have to be careful what I say. He's the type to do exactly what he's told. Now go on. How did you get out of there? Asina relaxed her body and leaned back on the soft bed. She continued her story thoughtfully. It was like a miracle. At first, I strained myself looking for a way out. But after a while, I lost the will to escape. And then my food and water started to run out. To be honest, I gave up and lay down waiting to die. I didn't want to move anymore. Chad spoke up. So you gave up on getting out? Yes, more or less, Your Grace. But unexpectedly, while I was staring at the ceiling, I noticed something. Oh, there are strange patterns on the ceiling. Huh, wait a minute. Looking closely, is that writing? That's right. It's an ancient language. I have to read what it says. There's only one path, guided by. How come I didn't notice this before? In the ancient language, truth and light have the same meaning. If I create light, I can see more of that writing. Please, give me some clue as to how to escape from here. At that time, I fumbled around and read all the hidden characters on the stone walls. Then I discovered an important line of characters. There must always be a sacrifice on the path to truth. So, Chad wondered, a sacrifice. She quickly answered, human blood. However, the required amount wasn't enough to be life-threatening. Anyway, what happened next was even more surprising. I continued reading the lines that followed and gradually discovered a clue. There must always be a sacrifice on the path to truth, starting from the lowest place before your eyes. The lowest place right in front of me. Could it be? Turns out the exit was right under the floor where I had been lying for 3 months. There always has to be a sacrifice. Back then, I used some of my own blood as an offering to activate the magic circle. Sure enough, as soon as the drop of blood touched the surface, the circle immediately glowed brightly. A mystical blue light spread, and the ancient symbols on it began to move. And finally, I was able to escape from that place, seeing the clear night sky before my eyes. That I couldn't help but feel moved and happy. The feeling of breathing the fresh air and gazing at the vast universe once more made my heart beat faster than ever. It reminded me of what it felt like to be free and alive. Yes, so since then, you've always avoided life-threatening places while traveling, right? Yes, sir. Suddenly, Chad stopped talking. He just silently looked at her for a long time, his eyes full of contemplation. Asina felt embarrassed and flustered. Why is he looking at me like that? Chad continued to look at her calmly and replied, I just find it strange. Based on what I know about your personality, I thought you were the type of person who would dive headfirst into dangerous places. Like those people who enjoy scary things. Like, oh, this place is so scary. What new experience? Traveling is the best. Haha. Oh my God, are you teasing me? But you're totally right. How do you know me so well? Are you a fortune teller? Chad continued, if so, then what's the reason you avoid dangerous places so much? Asina pensively murmured, well, it's a personal reason. It's embarrassing to talk about. It's related to my dear mother. When I returned home after 3 months, she ran to me and hugged me tightly. It was the first time I saw my mother cry. She was usually so cold to me, so much, so that sometimes I even thought she wasn't my real mother. But at that moment, she said, Asina, I won't interfere in your life. But can't you spare just a few months out of the year to be with the mother who loves you? You're the child God gave us, Asina. I don't know what I'd do if anything bad happened to you. I never thought I'd see my mother cry like that. I can't be a perfectly obedient daughter, but I don't want to be bad either. She gave me this life, so I have to cherish it with all my might. That's why I promised myself I'd never get involved in dangerous places again. Then I glanced at the man sitting beside me and lamented internally. And now, I'm being held hostage by an enemy nation, constantly watched day and night by the guy in front of me. I never saw this coming. Lost in thought, I lay down, pulled the blanket over myself, and prepared to sleep. Chad, beside me, noticed and asked, Are you tired? Yeah, I'm going to sleep, Chad, I replied. Suddenly, I turned to glance at him and added, But Chad, please don't kill me, okay? Chad seemed a little surprised and sympathetic upon hearing my plea. My eyes grew heavy and drowsy. I'm so sleepy. Am I just exhausted? Just like that, I drifted off to sleep, completely unaware of anything else. Chad remained seated beside me, silently admiring my beautiful face as I slept. She dares to sleep so soundly in front of the man who could kill her. What is she hiding behind that innocent face? He leaned in closer to my face, but then he abruptly stopped and whispered, If I kissed her right now, would I have the strength to control myself? To not do anything worse. For some reason, I feel uneasy. Like once I desire this woman, I won't be able to stop myself anymore. What's more surprising is, I'm having to suppress my own desires. And all these feelings for this woman. Late that night, somewhere in the palace, a man stealthily walked in the darkness. He stopped in front of a room and knelt. You summoned me, great leader. Varen calmly gazed at the moon hanging high above. He leisurely spoke, Rocky, find me someone. The subordinate respectfully replied, Yes, sir. Please tell me. I will bring them to you. Find me a woman with platinum blonde hair and eyes. Deep red eyes. A woman, sir. Yes, I'll do it right away, sir. But does she have any other distinguishing features? Varen pondered, slowly recalling every detail about the girl. He couldn't forget her exquisite figure and that long, flowing hair. Even her face and eyes were like an angel's. After thinking, he concluded with a single sentence. Distinguishing features. She's incredibly beautiful. The next morning, a clear blue sky stretched across the continent. Pizian. Oh no, my eyes are getting redder and redder. The magic of the earrings has reached its limit. I don't have much time left. The banquet was scheduled to be held the next day. I've sketched a map, an escape route, and learned the guard shifts. Even though it's a little earlier than planned, I have to leave here. Tomorrow is the day I escape from this place. The scene changes to a man hurriedly running to report. Lord Yakin. Chad asked in surprise, What is it, Uma? Why are you in such a hurry? Uma, panting, reported the situation. Varen summoned one of his subordinates last night. Chad's expression turned serious. So, has he made any moves yet? Uma immediately replied, I'm not certain, but it seems he gave some orders to his subordinate. According to the child I sent to serve him. Varen said he saw something while taking a walk. Chad appeared perplexed and curious about Varen's unusual behavior. He saw something, and keep a close eye on him. Yes, I will obey your command, sir. Afterward, Chad thought about Asina and suddenly remembered something. Oh, why one is a bowl of date pudding. I tried it last time, and it was delicious. Oh, right, that's what I promised her last night. Having remembered, he immediately called out, Uma. Yes, sir. Do you have further instructions? I have something I want you to deliver to the harem. The late afternoon sun was gradually setting. A calling voice accompanied by continuous knocking echoed. Lady Asina, the sun has almost set. Kareem, finding it strange, also approached and asked, Is she still sleeping? Noor replied, Yes, I think so. Kareem suddenly realized something was amiss. Strange. She usually wakes up early and wanders around the palace. Noor expressed concern. She didn't eat breakfast or lunch, so I brought her some snacks. But I'm worried. What if something happened? Kareem sighed and said indifferently, Just leave her be. If she's hungry, she'll wake up and eat. Suddenly, he heard someone approaching. Huh, what's this? Where are they taking that? Excuse me, is this Asina's room? Inside the room, Asina was lying curled up under the covers. Haha, I'm playing sick now. I have to conserve as much magic as possible, so I'm hiding under these blankets to conceal my red eyes. I'll just stay here until the banquet starts. Outside, Noor continued knocking. My lady, are you in there? Asina feigned illness and replied, I'm all right, Newer. Just a little tired. Newer immediately replied, but it's late and you haven't eaten anything. At least have this small snack. Let me bring it in for you. With that, the door swung open. Asina quickly activated her magic earrings. In an instant, her eyes returned to their original brown color. Seeing her bundled up in blankets, Newer rushed over with concern. Are you sick? Mississippi Asina replied. I told you I'm fine. Kareem stood behind, pouring tea, his face etched with reluctance. Why does a VIP pro bodyguard like me have to do things like this? Newer continued solicitously, I brought you some kaga. It will help you recover quickly. And also, Sich, before she could finish, the sound of the door opening interrupted her. The group from earlier rushed in and announced formally, Greetings, Era. We have brought gifts from Lord Chad. They beamed as they presented precious jewels, silks, and other items. Most notably, there was an enormous plate of date pudding. Asina was bewildered. Huh, were these? One of them cheerfully explained. He said he wanted to reward you for last night. He also sent the date pudding you wanted. Hearing this, Newer blushed and exclaimed, last night. Kareem, equally shocked, choked on his tea. He was so flustered that he bolted out of the room. Newer looked at Asina curiously. Hee, what happened last night? Mississippi Asina's face paled. Oh my goodness, it's not what you think. This must be a reward for escaping from the historical ruins. I only asked for a bowl of date pudding. Why so many gifts? Yes, Sarah, we will take our leave so you can rest. After they left, Newer spoke excitedly. What should we do with Lord Chad's gifts, Era? Shall I put them away? Asina quickly countered, no need. I'll take care of it. Thank you. I'm still a little tired, so I want to sleep a bit more. Yes, as you said, blushing. Of course. Now I understand why you're tired. Hee, I told you it wasn't what you thought. Yes, if you're hungry, please call me miss. Asina sighed. Finally, some peace and quiet, but there's still that luggage to deal with. Seriously, what's with all this stuff? I really can't figure out what that man is thinking. At the same time, Chad and his secretary, Nasir, were busy managing and archiving political information. Suddenly, a knock came from outside. Someone's here, sir. Yes, let them in. An alluring woman entered and spoke softly. Greetings, Chad. I am Zakia. I'm here to see you. I hope I'm not disturbing you while you're working. Chad spoke indifferently. It's all right. I don't think it will take too long. Hearing those words, her heart sank. But what was she doing in Paris when she should be in Dara? Zakia bitterly realized his words were now colder than before. She nervously replied, my father summoned me here. Chad glanced at her and emphasized the Grand Vizier. Zakia hesitated slightly and replied, yes. He said he wanted to discuss my marriage. He asked in surprise, what? Marriage? Are you of marrying age already? Faced with his blunt words, Zakia could only lower her head and remain silent. What did he mean by that? If she had been born into another powerful family, she could have been married off long ago. But Chad remained cold and glared at Zakia. Without waiting for her reply, he had already guessed the reason for her visit. Yes, he was certain she was doing this because of pressure from her father. Therefore, he shouldn't give her any false hope. After thinking it over, he spoke indifferently. Is that all you want to say? Zakia felt resentful and a sharp pang of pain. She couldn't help but exclaim in a jealous tone. But, Your Majesty, I happened to run into Era on my way to the SH Palace. Is it true you brought her into the harem solely because of love at first sight? Chad gritted his teeth in anger, his eyes blazing with fury. Why should I answer you? He growled. Zakia immediately recoiled, trembling. Oh, I think I misspoke. Please forgive me. I'll take my leave, Your Majesty. I apologize for wasting your precious time. With that, she fearfully turned and hurried away. As soon as Zakia left, Nasir, while rearranging some documents, said, Come to think of it, I just remembered something about Lady Asina. Your Majesty, I went to the harem today because I had something to ask her, but I heard she hasn't been eating anything and has stayed in her room the whole time. She usually enjoys wandering around the palace, so it was surprising to hear that. Chad paused for a moment, then said, Oh, really? Hearing this, he looked at the paper in his hand, lost in thought about her. She was like that yesterday, too. Kareem nodded. Yes, I heard she stayed in her room and slept all day. Nasir looked worried. Is she ill? Maybe she needs some time to adjust to the food here. She's a foreigner after all. Kareem added, but I heard she doesn't seem to be sick. But you came here because you had something to ask her, right? Nasir scratched his head. Yeah, that's right. But it seems like I came here for nothing. I wonder what's wrong with her. Could she be homesick? Meanwhile, Asina lay bundled in her blankets, deep in thought. This is the second day I've been in bed. When the sun sets, the banquet will begin. So today is the day I will officially escape from here. Yesterday, I hid under the covers all day to give my ears a rest. Today, I'll sleep to recharge. As she dozed off, the door creaked open. Suddenly, a hand gently stroked her hair. Feeling someone touching her, Asina startled awake. She sat up in a panic and saw Chad looming beside her. Seeing she was awake, he asked with concern, "Are you feeling unwell?" Still shaken, Asina cursed inwardly. Good heavens, he's trying to scare me to death. Why use that handsome face to frighten people? Such a waste. Why are you here? I thought you were busy preparing for the banquet. Chad replied, "Not really. I'm not the one planning it. The Grand Vizier is in charge of the preparations. But how are you feeling? Are you better now?" Asina hesitated, then answered, "Yes, I think I'm a little better now." "Really? What if I punish you for lying?" Chad smiled brightly and replied, "Should I?" Noticing his genuine concern, Asina's heart skipped a beat. Blushing, she thought, "Wait a minute, why is he being so gentle with me today? Is it because he thinks I'm sick? He was so cold and frightening when we first met. Who knew he had this side to him?" Asina then asked, "Chad, I have a question. When we first met, why did you spare my life? I understand that your reasons for not killing me aren't a big deal, but I'm still curious." Chad was slightly surprised that she brought it up. He hesitated for a moment before answering. "Because in that moment, when I looked into your eyes, I thought, your eyes told me you wanted to live. Isn't that reason enough?" Faced with his handsome features and sweet words, her heart began to race. Every time this man spoke like this, she inexplicably wished he would treat her like he did when they first met, even though she was trapped here like a prisoner. He hadn't tortured her physically or mentally. In fact, he treated her like a guest. When he discovered her escape, she was sure he would feel betrayed. Although she felt a little uneasy, she had to leave. But is something wrong?" Asina paused, then said, "Thank you." She quietly looked at the man beside her, silently finishing her unspoken words in her head. "Thank you for saving me and for these new experiences." Chad, hearing the words "thank you," couldn't help but be surprised. "Are you?" Asina, embarrassed, interrupted him. "I'm just thanking you for your concern. Think what you will. You can go now if you don't want to bother the patient." Pushing him towards the door, Asina reluctantly stopped and looked at him a little longer. "This will be the last time I see him. It's a little sad, but it's time for me to go. I'm such a fool." She gave a gentle smile, then called out to him one more time. "Beihai, Busy and truly is a wonderful country." Chad stared blankly, not understanding why she was saying such strange things today. "What are you talking about? Are you talking nonsense because you're sick?" No. I said I'm fine. Goodbye, Beihai. Rest well." A moment later, the soothing sounds of a stringed instrument began to fill the air. A group of musicians were playing a lively and cheerful melody. Along with them, beautiful dancers performed captivating and mesmerizing moves. The food had also been prepared, incredibly lavish and elegant. All of it was to celebrate a splendid feast throughout the palace. Meanwhile, in the harem, Asina stood on the balcony, observing the situation and secretly planning her escape. Finally, the banquet had begun. After dinner, I'll say I'm going to bed, so Noor won't come back here. She was so happy to see me eating again that she won't suspect a thing. As for Kareem, he's avoiding me, so he'll stay outside the harem. Most importantly, Chad is busy attending his own banquet in the palace. I've mapped out an escape route from the harem, including the guards' positions. I've also packed all the necessary supplies. So, 1 hour is enough for me to escape from here. Not long after, the sky completely darkened. Laughter and chatter mixed with the clinking of glasses, creating a lively and bustling atmosphere. At one table, a quiet conversation unfolded between a father and daughter. "Zakia." "Yes, father." The Grand Vizier sipped his wine. "I have a question. Did Jaqen say anything when you saw him?" Zakia answered nervously, "No, father." Raken was as cold as ever. He immediately reproached her. "I'm sure you disappointed him." Zakia softly replied, "Father, please forgive me." He slammed his glass down on the table in anger. "Don't forget, the next Kuin must carry the blood of our family." Faced with her father's pressure, Zakia nervously clenched her hands and respectfully said, "Yes, father." Suddenly, he heard a man's greeting. "Grand Vizier Gedik. Long time no see. Almost arrived late. Haha." Gedik spoke warmly. "Oh, hello. It's the Grand Chieftain of Naya, Elba himself. To give you a brief overview of Naya, it's an unremarkable region, not as wealthy as Saza, and its army isn't as powerful as other regions. Thanks to that, there are no problems here. In other words, it's a place with nothing to boast about. It's been a while, Elba. Thank you for making the long journey here. Now, then, generous Elba, tell me all about it. I brought a little wine as a gift. And this is my son, Miza Jadigloga. So, he'll be your successor then. Come sit down and have some wine. Thank you. Oh ho, greetings, Jalen, Grand Chieftain Adara. You seem busy admiring the dancers. Jalen laughed. Ha. How could I? Not resist such beautiful butterflies inviting me. You're quite the jovial one, Jalen. Oh, is that so? Meanwhile, elsewhere in the palace, Asina began to move. She tossed a rope with a grappling hook high into the air. It caught securely on the edge of the roof. Once she was sure it was secure, she slowly climbed, reaching the top of the building. From here, she could observe all around her, gauging the right moment for her next move, while also avoiding the guard's line of sight. Wow, the banquet seems lively and bustling. There are more people than usual today. My target is that gate over there. That's where I need to go to get out. A procession of people and carriages are leaving the palace. I have to get past them without being seen. Having made her plan, Asina immediately jumped down. She then disappeared into the shadows to observe. This is the main courtyard. I need to be more cautious. Many of Jockin's guards are around here. As long as my face is covered, they won't suspect anything. Plus, I've changed into the handmaiden's outfit I stole earlier, so it'll be fine. Moving to another corner, Asina overheard a hushed conversation. It's such a relief to hear Chad return safely. She's right. Without him here, the whole palace is incredibly quiet. Even the Grand Chieftains are worried about the water drying up. Everyone's afraid we'll have another terrible drought like before. All the water in Persia dried up during Sekenhaken's reign. Oh, so that's why. But that's why we're having such a big celebration. Yes, that's right. That way, Kuan won't abandon us again. Asina stood nearby, listening but not understanding what they were saying. Then she hurried towards the line of people leaving through the front gate. She quietly blended into the crowd. I just need to get past that checkpoint, and then I'm free. Come on, you're next. Show me your belongings. Yes, sir. Watching the guard at gate 6 meticulously inspect the bags, Asina worried and prayed silently. Please, let me be okay. Please. Her bag had been protected by a spell to conceal important items. The guard searched but couldn't find anything suspicious, so he let her pass. All right, you can go. Next, having passed the final hurdle, Asina sighed in relief. Phew, that's a relief. I'm finally out. It was easier to escape than I thought. It's a little anticlimactic, but it really was an interesting experience. I'm not staying in Persia, though. Even though I don't want to leave, it doesn't mean all my memories here are bad. She remembered her first days in the harem, the new sensations of experiencing the people and culture, and the thoughtful care she had received, and especially the man who had brought her such a mix of joy and sorrow and no small amount of sweet romance. She gripped the strap of her bag, thinking to herself, I suppose I'll miss him a little. Oh well, what can you do? It's his fault for being so handsome. Being that good-looking is practically a crime. I've never seen anyone so handsome, and so much more captivating. Even more than the pictures of handsome men I've collected. Oh well, whatever. Some things you just can't force. I have to get out of here quickly. This is probably the last time I'll see these magnificent palaces. Farewell, City of the Moon, and farewell, my handsome god. He returned to the lively atmosphere of the banquet in the palace. Chad gently swirled the wine in his glass. Contrary to everyone else's excitement, he remained relaxed, calmly savoring his drink. His eyes scanned the chieftain's seats, lost in thought. Have all the invited guests arrived? Bayezid consists of 6 territories. First is Soha. Next is Main Dara, with Jalen present. Moscat is still empty. After that is the Naya region of Elba. And finally, the Saza region of Varen. Over the years, these lands have formed alliances and fought amongst themselves for supremacy. And now the chieftains are all gathered here, answering the call of their god, while everyone is laughing and enjoying the feast. What bothers me most is Varen's strange silence. Normally, at a grand event like this, he'd be very enthusiastic and talkative, but now he looks like he's lost his soul. It's truly unusual. What's he thinking? I've also felt strangely uneasy this whole time. Why is that? Could something bad have happened? Seeing Varen so dazed, Elba, also finding it strange, went over to talk to him. You're unusually quiet today, chieftain of Saza. Is something bothering you? Lord Varen seems friendly enough. I'm feeling comfortable. so you needn't worry. Elba teased Chad. You must be bored because you have no one to sit next to. He continued his banter. By the way, Grand Chieftain of Soha is the leader of Vaika, still busy with work. I think he should hand over his position to his successor soon. Don't you agree, Grand Vizier? The Grand Vizier chuckled in response. I believe Grand Chieftain Vika has his own plans. Soha has quite a few issues to deal with. But look at Varen, so young, yet he manages Sarah so well. Honestly, Grand Chieftain Vika doesn't need to be so greedy. By the way, is the Grand Chieftain of Moscat unable to attend? My apologies. Our Grand Chieftain is busy resolving some clan matters. Therefore, I've come in his stead. I am Nekwa, representing Grand Chieftain Takef, head of the Moscat clan. Elba looked surprised. Oh, is the matter so serious that Grand Chieftain Takef couldn't attend this banquet? Then his son should have come instead. Yes, Nekwa replied. I heard Lord Kareem was assigned to guard the harem. Really? A powerful Tama like Lord Kareem given that responsibility. Anyway, I'm glad you came, Nekwa. You know how rigid he is. Yes, indeed. Our Grand Chieftain is not an easygoing man. Haha, the harem. Speaking of which, Chad, I heard you recently brought a woman into the harem. I was overjoyed to hear that. After all, the harem has been empty for quite some time, hasn't it? It's been vacant since Sakin's reign, so over 25 years. Chad sighed and muttered, Elba continues to speak his mind, so honestly, without considering the consequences. Speaking of the harem, it reminds me of Asina. I was the one who broke the rule I set for myself and then confined her there. At first, she was as prickly as a wildcat. Who do you think you are? A god. But once she understood her situation, she became surprisingly meek and obedient. And then I found myself wanting to know what she was thinking, so much so that I didn't even realize it myself. I wanted to tame her, to have her willingly open her heart to me. But I couldn't help but wonder one thing. Was she truly a woman I could tame? Or even if I offered you all the riches and glory in the world and whispered sweet nothings in your ear, would you stay by my side forever? I suddenly remembered her words and strange expressions. Thank you. I abruptly stopped, realizing something. Hesitantly, thank you. Thank you for what? Why was she thanking me? I continued to recall that moment. I'm just thanking you for your concern. Was it really just politeness on her part? Shapezian is truly a wonderful country. But why did she suddenly say such a thing? It felt like I was missing something. Thinking about it, my expression hardened. Suddenly, the dancers stopped, frightened. Even the high-ranking chieftains felt uneasy. Everyone was startled and confused when I abruptly stood up, a look of bewilderment on my face. The lively atmosphere was extinguished, replaced by silence. Elba asked worriedly, Lord Chad, is something troubling you? He wondered anxiously, could I be angry about something he said? Suddenly, I hurriedly left, my tone decisive. I'm going to retire. Enjoy the feast. The surroundings became noisy with murmurs. Ignoring the gossip, I rushed towards the harem, anxiety rising within me. Seeing his unusual tension, New York stammered greeting. Hello, sir. Chad immediately inquired. I must see her immediately. Where is she? Yes, sir. Ara is currently in her room. Is she asleep? Yes. Mistress finished dinner and is now asleep, sir. He grew more impatient as he cracked open the door. A dark, strangely quiet, and still room met his eyes. Sensing something amiss, he hurried towards her bed to see for himself. But suddenly, New York paled in fear. At the same time, Kareem anxiously ran to Chad. Sir, what are you doing here at this hour? Before he could finish, Chad froze in shock. Before him was an empty bed. Chad stood frozen as he pulled down the covers. Both New York and Kareem were also horrified and terrified. Chad turned furiously, glared at them, and ordered in a deadly tone, find her. Immediately. Meanwhile, Asina trudged alone amidst a vast sea of sand, accompanied by the howling desert wind. Italia. The desert nights are truly cold. At least my cloak has a warming enchantment. Since there's no one around, I'll remove the magic from my earrings. In a flash, her hair and eyes changed color. Her feet crunched softly on the sand as she walked, her heart heavy with thoughts, remembering past memories. Once again, I realized how lonely solo journeys can be. As a child, I used to travel with Uncle Ian. He also loved exploring new lands as much as I did. He was the first one who taught me what it meant to travel, and he ignited the passion within me. Uncle Ian, Asina, "Do you want to travel with Uncle Ian?" A curious, innocent Asina asked, "What is traveling, Uncle?" He took my hand and led me on a walk, slowly explaining, "Yes, yes. There's so many things in this world we don't know, and traveling is a way to learn about them. Children my age usually cry when they're taken to a strange place, especially without their parents. But strangely, I love places with lots of new things to see." Uncle Ian got into big trouble with my mother for taking me traveling. However, there was a time I lived according to my mother's wishes. I would attend parties as my mother instructed and meet the same people every day. I even ate at the same time every day. Although this lifestyle seemed natural to others, it was always uncomfortable for me. I even thought it would be better to die than to live the rest of my life like that, because I had discovered how vast the world is. Every country has a different culture, history, and way of life. Ever since learning this, I couldn't sit still at home anymore. I was always eager to learn and experience everything. Is there any way to describe this trip in my journal? I wonder. Suddenly, I remembered his handsome face, making me feel a little embarrassed and wistful. Why did that man's face suddenly appear? I slapped myself to shake off the longing. Calm down, Asina. You're in the desert. When I get home, I'll tell my family that the trip was difficult and share all the interesting and new things I experienced. Back at the Pisan Palace, Varen inquired again about the whereabouts of the beautiful woman who had captured his attention. "Have you found anything about her?" His subordinate sincerely reported, "I apologize, sir. We've asked around, but we haven't been able to find any information about the woman with platinum blonde hair and red eyes." Varen felt disappointed and ordered, "Is that so? Then keep searching, as long as it's not too dangerous." "Yes, sir," the subordinate replied. And then one of the men added, "Lord Varen, I noticed something when I entered the palace today." "Oh, what is it?" "I saw some Rakan warriors leaving." Varen, concerned, asked, "So, have we taken any action?" The man replied, "I'm not sure, my lord, but I don't think it's related to us." Varen's voice became stern. "Go and find out for certain, instead of speculating." After the man obeyed and left, Varen continued to gaze pensively at the moon. His heart ached with longing for the woman he remembered. Meanwhile, at Chad's palace, "Kareem, hurry and report, my lord. We've searched the entire palace, but we can't find her. It seems she's no longer here. We're also searching throughout the city, but due to the festival, it's very crowded and bustling, making it difficult to track her. However, I'm certain she's still in the city. She couldn't have escaped the city with the frail body of a woman, could she?" Chad didn't respond, remaining silent with a furious expression. Kareem glanced at him, worried. He hadn't punished or reprimanded him. In fact, he hasn't done anything all night. I can't tell what he's thinking. I'd rather he punish me. Suddenly, a firm and weighty voice spoke. "No, she's no longer in this city. For a woman like her, leaving here is easier than eating cake. It seems I've been too careless." Kareem interrupted remorsefully. "It's my fault. Please forgive me, my lord." Chad replied, "No need to apologize. You weren't the one who let your guard down. But when you think about it, that woman even escaped from prison." He silently berated himself. "I was indeed too careless. The reason why that woman wasn't afraid, despite being trapped in a strange place, is because she could leave any time she wanted. No matter how fortified the prison is, one wouldn't be afraid if the door remains open. The harem is located in the deepest part of the palace, so I was certain you wouldn't be able to escape if I kept you there within my sight. How foolish I was to think that." At the same time, Nasir hurriedly ran to Sai. "I brought the bag you requested. We've checked the bag, but there's nothing suspicious. The protective spell on the bag has been removed. She must have taken all the important things with her," someone said to Sai. Sai, seething with anger and frustration, scratched his head and pondered. Without hesitation, he immediately gave a decisive order. "Kareem, assemble the Azami." Both of them were shocked and worried after hearing this. Kareem cautiously asked, "Your Highness, do you mean?" Sai asserted firmly, "Yes, I will personally track her down." The next morning at the palace, while enjoying the cool morning and breathing in the fresh air, Varen happened to see two men busily carrying something. He couldn't help but be curious and observe them. The two men stopped and respectfully bowed, following the instructions of some official. Seeing this, Varen cheerfully walked over to greet him. Good morning, Grand Chamberlain. The official replied, Ah, good morning, Grand Vizier. It's a shame you couldn't meet His Majesty today. This man's name is Amon. He's a Grand Chamberlain in the Royal Palace. Essentially, a high-ranking official who manages personnel and organizes ceremonies within the palace. He might also advise the king, and so on. Varen wondered, oh, what's going on that I can't see His Majesty? Amon informed him, His Majesty is not present at the moment. I believe he will be absent for quite some time. Well, when will he return? I'm not sure. I'm only an attendant to Lord Yakin. Lord Varen, may I be excused? As you can see, I'm rather busy. Varen thought to himself, humph, but you're also responsible for all internal affairs within the palace. How can you not know? He's deliberately avoiding me. Alright. Apologies for bothering you, Amon. As soon as Amon left, Varen continued to watch him, silently deducing, based on his subordinates' reports and Amon's words just now. First, Yakin's warriors were mobilized, and now Yakin himself has left the palace. Strange things seem to be happening around me, and I don't know why. Am I missing something? Also, that man will be arriving soon, so I'll have to investigate further before he arrives. Meanwhile, in the scorching desert, Asina collapsed, sprawled on the hot sand. I forgot about the terrible desert heat. The road through the desert to SRT is incredibly rough. SRT is the only functioning city in Persian, and it has a seaport. I plan to go there and find a ship to the northern continent. But a ship, I might be baked before I even reach SRT. While lamenting, she suddenly noticed something approaching. Is that a person, or am I seeing things? Hey, wait, let me get a better look. It seems like that person is coming closer. Sure enough, in just a moment, a man stood right in front of her. Asina was confused, unsure how to react. If this was one of them, she was done for. Damn my hair, she thought, but I'm wearing a hood, so he probably can't see it. Thinking this, she gave a friendly smile. Hey there. But as she looked up, a sharp blade was already at her throat, accompanied by a curt voice. Who are you? Asina paled, cursing inwardly. Seriously, again, why do all the crazies in this desert have to point a sword at me before talking? Is this how people greet each other in the desert? The man looked at her with a scrutinizing gaze and continued his interrogation. What are you doing in this desert? Don't you know where this is? Looking at the man before her, she thought, I can't see his expression because his face is covered, but I don't feel the same deadly threat as when I first met Beihai. Back then, I was truly terrified. Calm down, Asina. You survived someone even crazier than this guy. After reassuring herself, Asina spoke. I'm just a harmless traveler passing through. She added with a touch of sarcasm, You're being pretty casual, so I figure I could be too. Suspicion arose in the man. Who is this woman? He sternly declared. This is no place for a woman to travel alone. Asina retorted. It's no place for a man to travel alone either. And you might want to lower your sword before we continue this conversation. And so, they walked and talked across the desert. You're traveling to Pegasus. Nope, I was heading to Creta. Oh, I see. The man's name was Akka. He said he was from Creta and was on his way to Pegasus. After seeing the things in your bag, he continued, I figured you were a traveler. Well, this isn't the way to Creta, Akka stated. Asina replied, I know, but my trip is over and I'm heading home. I'll catch a ship at SRT. But why are you crossing the desert? Because it's the fastest way to SRT. Akka made a sarcastic face and muttered under his breath, the fastest way to SRT. More like the fastest way to meet your maker. Asina heard him and inwardly fumed. She forced a smile and asked sweetly, hello. Are you mocking me? Akka sighed and said, Who travels across the desert to get to SRT? Most people go around it. I don't know if you're stupid or just enjoy suffering. Although furious, she just chuckled it off. I can't tell him I'm running away. He was actually quite handsome up close, and his aura reminded her of someone from Chrome War. I wonder if his parents are from Chrome War. Asina asked curiously, So where are you from? Akka replied, SRT. She feigned surprise and excitement. Really? Do you think I'll reach SRT in a week? Akka snorted. A week. At your pace. You'll be building your own tomb along the way. Asina's eye twitched, and she cursed him silently. This jerk keeps looking down on me. My stamina is above average, you know? Whatever. I just met someone from SRT, so I'm going the right direction. I'll get to SRT in a week. Finally, I can relax. Well, bye. Nice to meet you. Akka looked startled. You're really going to SRT? Asina declared, I'm not going to die, so don't worry. Bye. I'm off. Akka stared after her, frozen. Unable to leave her, he quietly started following her, making Asina feel uneasy and awkward. Hey, why are you following me? Caught red-handed, Akka froze for 5 seconds and deliberately looked away. I'm not following you. I have things to do, so don't mind me. Finding him incredibly annoying, Asina could only fume inwardly. Good heavens, how can I be comfortable when you keep following me? And so, the two continued together, their journey stretching across the vast desert. Back at the royal palace, "Sir, I have divided the Azami squad into 3 teams and sent them to the capitals of Inpizian and Saza. The rest of the squad remains on standby." A little about the Azami. In Pizian, there are 7 units under Jockin's direct command, and among those 7, the Azami are the most agile. Back to Kareem, who continued to fret and fuss. "Your Highness, are you sure you want to go personally? I can go in your stead." Before he could finish, SH glared at him with a terrifying look and growled. Faced with his resolve, Kareem could only bow and obey. "I may be gone for a long time, so pay special attention to the security around the palace." Kareem respectfully obeyed. "Yes, Your Highness." SH then leaped onto his warhorse with impressive flair and bid farewell. "I'm off." As he was being escorted, Kareem curiously asked, "Do you know where you're going, Your Highness?" SH replied decisively, "Probably." "If you were that woman, where would you go, Kareem?" Kareem pondered for a moment and answered, "I'm not sure, Your Highness. She's a difficult woman to predict, but perhaps she's escaped to somewhere very hard to find." SH narrowed his eyes and concluded, "The answer is the desert. She's an intelligent, resourceful woman, and she knows no fear. Although she nearly died there once, I'm certain she's gone back." And so, the city gates slowly opened. SH and the Azami squad galloped away. He was determined to capture her, while simultaneously recalling the moments they had spent together. "There was no deep connection between us, nothing strong enough for me to develop any feelings for her. I'm simply using her. So why am I being swayed by these feelings? In any case, there's only one thing I can do now. I will capture the woman who has imprisoned me in this hell of emotions." Please subscribe to the channel for the next episode and other interesting videos. Thank you.